Okay, so Rayleigh is straight up fearless, and someone's calling her name in a super creepy way. She's pulled into this dark, twisted circus, and honestly, the vibe is instantly terrifying. Giant, spectral creatures are swirling around her. These skull-headed things are everywhere, it's wild. This dude in a top hat is clearly the ringleader, and he's got a seriously unsettling aura about him. He's showing her visions within his eye, skulls and swirling darkness. It's a total mind trip. He tells her she's entering a world of nightmares, and she's supposed to face her fears. But our girl doesn't have any. She's falling through this red abyss, surrounded by those creepy skull spirits, and she looks totally unfazed. Her face is covered in blood, but she doesn't even flinch. This girl is a different breed, I swear. She's tumbling down, 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 and it's looking less like a fall and more like a deliberate descent. And honestly, the circus is about to get a rude awakening, because this fearless girl is about to turn everything upside down. She lands with a poof, totally fine like a cat, and immediately starts twitching, but it's not fear, it's annoyance. The circus is decked out in creepy banners and balloons, but Rayleigh is unimpressed. Bro, just straight up bored. She wanders into a tent filled with bizarre, unsettling objects. It's like a monster's garage sale, no cap. Rayleigh casually strolls past all the spooky stuff, not even glancing at the weird trinkets or shadowy figures. She stops, deadpan, and declares it's so boring, and then promptly faceplants into a pile of cushions. Rayleigh's out cold, dreaming of more boring stuff. Honestly, this girl is on another level. But the ringleader is watching, and he's starting to look seriously rattled. Our girl is breaking his whole operation. He tries to freak her out with a nightmare vision, but Rayleigh just shrugs it off while she's asleep. It's wild. He's losing it, shouting about how no one's ever been so fearless, but she's still snoring peacefully. This dude thought fear was a sure thing, but Rayleigh is proving him wrong, and honestly, it's hilarious. A little chicken dude is totally freaked out, but Rayleigh is just there, observing everything. This ancient, grumpy-looking spirit is sitting in the center of the circus, looking incredibly unimpressed. The ringleader's hat and shoulders appear, and he's staring down at Rayleigh with a creepy grin. A massive, shadowy blob of eyes is unleashed, crawling toward Rayleigh. It's straight up terrifying. The ringleader declares they have a guest, and it's clear he's thrilled, or thinks he is. He's all smiles, revealing some seriously unsettling teeth, and announces the show can finally begin. The ringleader is lounging in a fancy chair, reading a book as colorful objects rain down around him. He welcomes everyone to the circus, but it looks more like a trap than a celebration. Rayleigh and the chicken are inside a musical treasure chest, and this dude is definitely enjoying this. No way, the circus is finally going to try and scare our girl, and it's about to be a disaster for them. Rayleigh is totally unfazed by the circus attempt to scare her, and it's driving the ringleader wild. He declares she has acrophobia, fear of heights, but she just shrugs it off, completely unbothered. The ringleader is losing his cool, insisting everyone has something they fear, but our girl is proving him wrong. Okay, so this girl wakes up in a circus, and she's instantly thinking it's a dream. A pretty one at that. She's admiring the scene, but she's also got this weird feeling that things aren't quite right, you know. She's just chilling when this other girl appears, and she's questioning what they're even doing here. Our girl thinks it's just a dream, but the other girl is already sensing something is seriously off. Suddenly, a creepy clown figure appears and welcomes them to the circus, and honestly, it's a bit much. He's all like, "Welcome to the circus, lost one," and then he starts cackling, super unsettling, bro. The clown tells them to be afraid, but our girl, she's not having it. She's straight up unfazed. He's like, "And let fear consume you," but she's just not scared. This dude is losing it. The clown is so confused she isn't reacting, and it's honestly hilarious to watch him unravel. This circus is feeding on fear, and our girl is a total anomaly. This is gonna be good. The clown is seriously losing his mind, questioning why she isn't scared. It's a total mood. Our girl just shrugs and asks why he's not scared, flipping the script on this dude. He responds with, "I'm scary," which is a choice, honestly, and starts approaching her. She falls back, but it's not out of fear. She's genuinely confused by his behavior. He gets super close and declares he's there, but she still doesn't flinch. It's wild. And then the scene cuts to a title card explaining the circus preys on people with coulrophobia, the fear of clowns. The credits roll, listing the story writer, color assistants, and editor of this crazy story. But wait, there's one last panel showing the clown's face up close, still totally bewildered. Our girl's face is also shown, and she looks utterly unbothered, like this is just a normal Tuesday. This circus is about to get a whole lot more interesting with a fearless protagonist. No way this won't be epic. Okay, so this circus is seriously messed up, but our girl isn't even flinching, she's totally unfazed. A mysterious girl in a red sweater shows up, looking lost and honestly a little scared, bro. This dude, a creepy clown with a split mask, is watching her, and he's giving off major bad vibes. He tries to get closer, but she's already turning away, like she senses something's off. Smart move. But wait, another clown appears, even creepier than the first, and they're both closing in on her. No way! The clowns are starting to freak out, covering their faces, and it's clear they're actually afraid of her. What a twist! A giant, monstrous head descends from the shadows, looking absolutely terrifying, and honestly, it's a mood. The clowns, now fully panicked, are backing away, and this dude is straight up trembling with fear. They're demanding to know why she isn't scared, and honestly, she just looks bored. This girl is fearless. They threaten her, telling her to fear them, but she doesn't even flinch. She's about to turn this circus upside down. She explains she's not scared, and this dude is totally confused. Like, what universe is she living in? He asks what she's not afraid of, but she just shrugs it off, saying it just isn't scary to her. The clown tries to scare her with a massive shadow, but our girl is completely unfazed. She's a straight-up anomaly. The clowns are losing it, backing away from her like she's a walking nightmare. The tables have turned. She apologizes, saying she just thinks he's cool, not scary, and honestly, that's unexpectedly sweet. The clown's reaction is priceless. He's actually blushing, and it's a little embarrassing for him. But then another clown chimes in, saying she's being really nice, and it's kinda sus, not gonna lie. The first clown covers his face, clearly flustered. This whole situation is a mess, but we're here for it. And now we get a quick info dump. She has Phobia, the fear of shadows. Talk about ironic. So, she's not fearless. She's terrified of shadows, but she's still not scared of him, which is the real kicker. Okay, so the clown tries to play it cool, acting like her fear of shadows doesn't change anything. But it totally does. He's all, so you can be scared, and honestly, it's kinda manipulative. Okay, so our girl is totally unfazed by this creepy circus, and this dude, the ringmaster, is already plotting. He's scheming to scare her, thinking he's so clever, but honestly, she's the one who should be worried about him. This dude straight up threatens to return with something terrifying, promising she'll beg him to stop. Talk about overconfident! He's pacing and plotting, and we get a glimpse of his outfit. This guy is all about the creepy aesthetic. He starts creeping towards something, tapping his foot like a total villain. But it's unclear what he's up to. We get a closer look at this ringmaster's face, one eye covered, stitched up, and unsettling as heck. No way. He's walking around, probably setting up some kind of trap, and it's giving major bad vibes. He's fiddling with his phone, maybe summoning something, and the circus tent is looming in the background. He's still messing with his phone, seemingly getting ready to unleash his scare tactics. But seriously, our girl isn't scared of anti-Gen, so this whole plan is probably gonna backfire spectacularly. This dude thinks he's being sneaky, grabbing a book, but a tiny mouse is already judging him. He claims he needs this book to scare our girl, but it's a total lie. He's just trying to impress Jasper and the king. He admits he probably shouldn't have left her alone, but then doubles down, saying scaring her is his job. He's all about making Jasper and the king proud, saying they've done so much for him. Total brown noser. He vows to scare her with this book, and honestly, it's a bit sad how desperate he is for approval. He starts cackling, declaring the book of phobias is his, and he's ready to unleash some fear. Black tendrils start swirling around him as he reads, and it's giving seriously ominous vibes. He's completely absorbed in the book, Phobias, and it's clearly fueling his creepy energy. We get a close-up of the book. It's a legit phobia encyclopedia, and this dude is about to weaponize it. Two little mouse cheerleaders are hyping him up, and then it reveals the definition of bibliophobia. The fear of books. He tries to scare our girl with bibliophobia, the fear of books, but she just picks up the book and starts flipping through it. Okay, so this circus is straight up messed up, and our girl is looking for something? A specific mask, apparently. She's rummaging through a chest, convinced she's seen one around here somewhere, but things feel off. She finds a room packed with creepy toys and a seriously unsettling teddy bear, but still no mask. This dude, the ringmaster, is giving off major bad vibes, staring intensely with a creepy grin. He's rambling about finally being able to consume her fear, which is concerning, to say the least. A massive shadow monster appears behind him, and honestly, it's terrifying even for our fearless lead. She's searching for something, muttering about a circus, darkness, and sand. It's super disjointed. She touches some sand, but there's absolutely nothing there, not even a sky, which is weird. This old woman appears, looking completely distraught, and it's clear she's seen some stuff. She says there's nothing there, not even a sky, and bro, the atmosphere is THK with dread. This dude straight up corners our girl, demanding she prepare. Talk about creepy? He's got this whole theatrical vibe going on, dramatically presenting her with a cardboard box. She takes the box, but her expression is changing. She's starting to see something. He's yelling about her fearing him, and honestly, the intensity is a little much. He shoves the box in her face, and she recoils with a huge shik. Finally, a reaction. She's clearly seeing something horrifying inside the box, a twisted version of the clown. It turns out he's been preying on people's phobias, specifically the fear of cardboard boxes. But the old woman isn't scared. She's seen it all before, and she's not impressed. We get the credits. Learning Momo wrote the story and Pookie did the colors. Teamwork makes the dream work. So, it's the phobia of cardboard boxes. No way, this circus is wilder than we thought. Okay, so we're at this creepy circus, and the title card is giving major bad vibes. This little plushie Oso is getting sprung from a jack. In the box, seriously cute, but something feels off. Oso's rummaging around, and then thud, he's clearly up to no good, this little guy. He pulls out a knife like, and then does it ta-da, reveal with it. No way, this is getting intense. Oso tries to slice through some festive bunting, but it's all a distraction, honestly. We meet the real monster, Funtime, and she's straight up terrifying with that cracked mask and wild hair. Funtime's all menacing, but Oso interrupts, and she's momentarily thrown off. Funtime tries to threaten Oso, but she can't fight. She's clearly got some kind of weakness. She's vulnerable, but still tries to intimidate Oso, demanding he stay back. The audacity. Oso's ready to throw down, and Funtime is looking rile concerned. This is about to get wild. Funtime's got Oso cornered, but she's distracted by the tiny bird. What is happening? Our girl, the circus owner, gasps. She's apparently super concerned about this little bird. Funtime's flailing around, totally losing it, and Oso is using the chaos to escape. Smart move. Oso's running for his life, and our girl is right behind him. She's surprisingly fast. She's cradling the bird and asks if it even has a name. Seriously. Now's not the time. Funtime's face is getting us massaged into something, and honestly, it's kinda satisfying. She's screaming, and Oso and our girl are making a full-on getaway, dodging whatever's coming at them. Funtime goes to WN, and they're still sprinting. This is a high-speed chase for sure. Way to text box explains Funtime has ovophobia, a fear of eggs. No way. And the credits roll, leaving us hanging. Whoa, that was a wild ride, and we need answers. Okay, so our girl is at this creepy circus, and it's all about exploiting fears, which is a vibe. This dude, Chip, is trying to scare someone, but he's apparently got lady issues, according to the ringleader. The ringleader's giving Chip a lesson in scaring women. She's all, you need charm, my dear. And honestly, it's kinda intense. She's laying down the rules, saying you gotta know the person you're trying to frighten, which is sound advice, actually. Now she's demanding Chip tell her who he's trying to scare, starting with a simple question, what's her name? Chip totally clams up, refusing to spill the beans on the woman's identity, and the ringleader is not amused. She's giving him the side eye, demanding the name, and Chip just doubles down on not knowing anything. But the ringleader's not backing down. She's pressing Chip for details, and he's clearly getting flustered. She wants to know the woman's name, but Chip is playing dumb, insisting he has no idea who she is. The ringleader is straight up done with his excuses. She's giving him a look that could kill, and it's glorious. The ringleader is laying it all out. You gotta know what scares someone to get close to them. She's dramatically explaining that to win a heart, you gotta target their deepest hates, which is a strategy. Chip is clearly picturing our girl, and he's actively destroying a picture of her with scissors. No way! He takes a deep breath, bracing himself, and then calls her my special boy. Wait, Muhat. He's rushing to embrace her, and she looks totally caught off guard, but he's pulling her in for a hug. But hold up, it turns out Chip has Phobia, the fear of beautiful women, which explains everything. The final panel gives us the credits, telling us Momo wrote the story, Pookie and Rassi did the colors, and Christine edited. And honestly, this whole time Chip wasn't trying to scare her. He was terrified of her. So this whole circus is about exploiting fears, but the biggest fear of all was just attraction. Wild. Okay, so our girl is searching for Mr. Clown, and everyone's kind of freaking out about it, honestly. This older woman sees the clown and straight up thinks she's gonna destroy her. It's a bit dramatic, right? But the woman insists Mr. Clown is just looking for her normally, and she's walking right toward the circus tent. A creepy striped hand reaches out from the curtains, and it's giving major bad vibes, no way. The woman thinks the clown wants to destroy her, but another character argues she's just lonely. It's a total misunderstanding. Our girl sees evil intentions in the clown's eyes, while the other woman still believes she's just sad and needs a friend. We get a close-up of Mr. Clown, and bro looks intense with one normal eye and one spiral. Another character is blushing and surrounded by hearts. Are they falling for Mr. Clown? What is happening? Someone's pushing against a red curtain, and it says push on it. Like, seriously? It looks like things are about to go down, but honestly, this whole situation is a mess. Mr. Clown is trying to play it cool, saying he's scary but needs to try harder. It's kinda pathetic, honestly. The other girl looks totally freaked out, eyes spiraling, but someone's telling her to just ask for his name. They start walking together, and our girl is clearly nervous, while Mr. Clown seems hopeful. Suddenly, the other girl bursts into tears, and Mr. Clown is all concerned. Wait, what's happening? Mr. Clown finally blurts out his name, Chip the Clown, and it's a total mood swing, like he was waiting for someone to ask. The other girl asks for his name, and he just says Chip, super mysterious, bro. She's still crying, and he looks genuinely confused and hurt, which is a twist in go. But then, things get weird. Balloons pop up, and the other girl's face is obscured by a black shape. She's totally broken down, and Mr. Clown looks shocked, but also maybe relieved. And honestly, the whole situation is still a mess, and we're left hanging with a close-up of her face. Our girl is leaning in, looking all soft and flustered, and Chip is straight up blushing. It's kinda cute TB. But then, a burst of smoke appears and Chip's face is totally obscured. What is even happening right now? No way. Chip is suddenly lifted into the air looking shocked while another creepy clown figure grabs him. The new clown is all flirty, calling Chip darling, and saying he's been waiting, and Chip looks mortified. Turns out, this whole time Chip has alexinomia, a phobia of being called by his name, which explains everything. And honestly, the credits roll revealing the creative team behind this wild ride. We need answers already. Okay, so things are getting no ERD. This dude, who's clearly a ringleader, is calling a meeting. He gathers everyone because there's a problem, and honestly, the vibe is immediately unsettling. Everyone's assembled in this creepy circus tent, and this dude is straight up lecturing them about someone. He's got this whole dramatic reveal planned, gesturing wildly with his hands and looking intense. He dramatically unveils a book, and a little mouse nearly jumps out of its skin. This is getting good. The book is called Phobia. No way, and he slams it open, scattering some glowing book energy. He's explaining this mysterious girl, and all he knows is she's his age, which, okay, but then he drops the bombshell she has star-filled eyes. Bro, what does that even mean? We finally get a glimpse of this girl, and she's all black silhouette, but those eyes are seriously trippy. He says she's a total enigma, and honestly, our girl is about to be a problem for this whole circus. Okay, so this ringleader dude is explaining everyone has a chip that links to their fears. Wild. He says those fears can send them back, and honestly, the tension is building fast. He points to the silhouette girl, claiming they're ALL in pain. Like, seriously messed up. Then, someone, a different circus performer, finds our girl reading a book, and it's a little intense. The book is titled Phobia, and it's all about, wait for it, musophobia? The fear of mice? No way. They're showing a little mouse toy, and it's connected to this whole fear thing. So creepy. And the credits roll. Momo wrote the story, Pookie and Rassi did the color assist, Christine is the editor. Okay, so things are getting nigh-arty. This circus is holding a secret meeting, and someone just walked in on it. This creepy clown and a silver-haired dude are straight up trying to sell someone fears, bears, tablecloths, mice, the whole 9 yards? But our girl isn't having it. She's totally unfazed, and they seem annoyed. The clown asks why she hasn't figured things out yet, and honestly, he's getting a little intense. He reveals his whole purpose is to scare her, which is a bold strategy. Cotton, let's see if it pays off. However, our girl isn't buying it, and the clown's face is morphing into something truly terrifying, like full-on nightmare fuel. He declares that her fear feeds them, and it's a seriously unsettling image of a monstrous mouth. Then the clown just looms and starts laughing, which is never a good sign. And his laugh, it's a massive, toothy grin that fills the whole frame. No way is that normal. Seriously, that mouth is horrifying, and our girl's about to face a clown who lives for her terror. Our girl is getting attacked. The clown slices at her eye, and it's seriously messed up. But she's not screaming, she's just blank, staring with a cracked eye at this dude. She's shifting, like her body is glitching, and this dude is reaching out to stop it. She holds up a piece of herself, her eye, and honestly, it's a little too calm for this situation. Suddenly, someone is thrown through the air and lands with a tattoo distracting everyone. It's another circus performer, and they're completely out cold. What a chaotic interruption! We get a title card, Phobia, the fear of masks, and it explains the whole story. Finally, the credits roll, listing the story, color assist, and editor of this wild ride. Okay, so our girl has always struggled with right from wrong, which is the choice, honestly. She's wandering around, clearly lost in thought, and starts questioning her own actions. She's super upset and brooding, and it looks like she's really beating herself up over something. She wonders if this dude, the circus master, is mad at her, but then realizes he'd probably hit her if he was. No way, she's spiraling, trying to figure out what she did wrong to deserve whatever's happening. She finds his mask and it's a whole mood, and she's like, okay, what do I even do with this? She's still pondering the mask situation when a woman, approaches from behind, all smirky. This woman reaches for the mask, and things are about to get real. You guys, I can feel it. She's all, oh my, what do we have here? Which is a threat if I've ever seen one. But the woman's creepy smile and reaching hand suggest she's not just curious, she's up to no good. The woman pulls our girl into a hug, and it's intense, to say the least. She whispers, don't you wish to go home? Which is straight up menacing, honestly. The woman's grip tightens, and our girl looks super uncomfortable, but also intrigued. She's leaning in close, and we get a peek at her fangs. Yikes, this is getting creepy fast. The woman's face is right there, and she's definitely not giving off friendly vibes. But then, a little kid, a creepy floating kid, shows up and interrupts the moment. He's holding a sign about Phobia, the fear of hats, which is specific. The background is filled with bizarre circus attractions floating in the sky. It's a whole vibe. She's still trapped in the hug, but it looks like the woman is about to release her. The woman says they'll send her home, but this place exists to scare, and I don't trust it. The woman releases our girl, but immediately starts rambling about a perfect specimen and needing to prepare it. Seriously creepy? Okay, so things are getting wieldy. This circus is all about facing your fears, and our girl is totally unfazed. This dude, a creepy ringmaster, is convinced she has a fear, and he's determined to find it, no matter what. He straight up grabs her and announces they're heading to the castle, promising a king who knows everyone's fears. He carries her, and she's surprisingly okay with it. Like, is this a romance thing brewing, or what? They say at the castle, the king knows every fear, and he'll definitely know hers, which feels a little ominous, TB. She's leaning on this creepy circus guy, but honestly, he doesn't seem so bad, all things considered. He's holding her close, and she's looking a little flustered. This is a weird, monster-filled meet. Cute, I swear. The circus guy's face is super close to hers, and she's blushing. It's a whole mood, honestly. They're approaching massive castle doors, and it's giving serious haunted vibes, but she doesn't even flinch. And they're inside. Whatever this king knows, our girl is ready to face it. Or maybe just mess with him. He announces they've arrived at the castle of Phobias, and honestly, it looks terrifying. She's leaning into him, and he's holding her tight. This is getting seriously cozy. He starts to fall, but she catches him. Our girl is saving the monster, no way. He's trying to play it cool, but she's definitely got him flustered, bro. He pulls her close and she's blushing. A monster romance is definitely happening. They reach for the castle door, but it swings open on its own, and it's super creepy. He tries to grab the door to stop it, but it slams shut before he can, trapping them inside. And the title card hits, Castle Phobia. The fear of castles, but I think she's fearless. We get the credits, and Momo is listed as the story creator. She's a genius, honestly. Pookie, Rassi, and Christine also get a shout-out, making this whole creative team amazing. Okay, so our girl is at this creepy circus and feels like she's being watched. A classic start, right? She quickly realizes she's right, because a ton of eyes suddenly appear, staring from the darkness. No way! This dude, the ringmaster, shows off a terrifying grin with rows and rows of sharp teeth, straight up nightmare fuel. He's completely hidden, surrounded by those creepy eyes, and thinks no one can see him. But our girl isn't falling for it. She saw his face, and he's clearly thrown off, like what is happening? He's used to scaring people, not being seen. He mutters about her not thinking, but honestly, this dude is the one who needs a reality check, bro. He wonders if she's scared of him, but that's a joke. She's not fazed, and it's amazing to watch. He's spiraling, asking himself what he's even saying, because our girl has completely broken his routine. The ringmaster is left speechless, and the panel shows a glimpse of a shadowy figure observing them both. We end with a mysterious silhouette in the background, and things are about to get even weirder. I can feel it. She sniffs the air and realizes someone, or something, is lost and heading toward the castle. No way! But then she smells a snaky with Jasper, and her expression changes to pure menace, bro. She calls out Jasper's name, and this dude is straight up terrified, scratching at something frantically. Her eye cracks open, revealing a golden pupil, and honestly, it's super unsettling. She keeps calling for Jasper, the scratching intensifies, and it's clear something bad is happening. The scratching is revealed to be coming from Esh inside, whatever she's trapped in, and it's intense. We get a full shot of her terrifying face, and the title card reveals this is all about omatophobia, the fear of eyes. The credits roll, listing the story, color assist, and editor, and it's a cool little wrap-up. And finally, a background texture, like a creepy wallpaper, sets the mood for whatever's next. We're diving into Chip's backstory, and it's kinda heartbreaking, TB. Everyone's fixated on how wrecked his mask is, pointing out all the cracks and damage. But this isn't just wear and tear. The mask is seriously falling apart, and it's stressing everyone out. A new character, a girl with dark hair, jumps in insisting it's not broken, just well loved. She straight up says Chip embodies clowns in masks, which is a little creepy, but also accurate. And it gets deeper. This mask isn't just a prop, it's incredibly special to him for a specific reason. Apparently, someone really important gave him the mask, making it a treasured gift he holds super close. She challenges anyone listening, if they've ever gotten a gift they treasured, making a point. Chip looks genuinely touched, a small smile peeking through, which is rare for this dude. Our girl is really hitting home with this, trying to get everyone to understand how much this mask means to him. The girl with silver hair is seriously upset, insisting gifts don't last and it's pointless to get attached. She's clearly projecting, though. She looks devastated saying this, clutching a broken toy. But the dark-haired girl steps in, telling her to fix what's broken and not make that sad face. She doubles down, saying even if something breaks, it's the memories that truly matter, which is deep. The silver-haired girl reaches out, and the dark-haired girl takes her hand, offering comfort and support. They're holding hands now, a tight grip, and the silver-haired girl's expression softens a little bit. And then, the title card hits us, anemophobia, the fear of memories. No way! We get a little credits roll, listing the story writer, color assistants, and editor. The episode ends with a blank page. Okay, that's kinda creepy, but we'll see what's next. We jump right into the circus, and honestly, it looks super creepy with all the red and skulls. Jasper is showing our girl around, pointing out all the decorations and trying to impress her, which is cute. They're walking through this maze of corridors, and Jasper is really laying on the charm, but then, a scratching sound echoes, and our girl immediately wants to know what's going on. She's not scared of anything, seriously. She spots something, and it looks like she's hurt, maybe a cut on her forehead, but she's still determined to investigate. She's wondering if it's a cat or a bear, but Jasper thinks he knows what it is, and is already rushing toward the sound. Turns out it's this terrifying, grinning monster with sharp teeth, and Jasper is carrying it like a baby? What is happening? Everyone is telling Jasper he shouldn't be carrying a monster around, and he's all like, I can totally handle it. We get a close-up of the monster's face, and it's even scarier up close. Those teeth are insane. Jasper is bragging about being popular, and even suggests he could just take the monster from our girl. No way, this dude is asking for trouble. Jasper is straight up claiming this lost monster is his and Alzer has no right to interfere. Alzer calls him out, keeping a lost is against the law, and Jasper just brushes it off. But then Jasper doubles down, saying he's not keeping her, and a clown will come for her soon. Alzer is freaking out, asking if Chip is on his way, because that clown is terrifying. We get a close-up of Alzer's eye, and there's a symbol on it. She's definitely connected to all this. And just when you think it's over, this huge monster appears, looming over Jasper and the little lost. The monster has massive claws and a seriously creepy grin. Our girl is in danger. Jasper is trying to act tough, but he's clearly scared, and the monster is ready to snatch them up. The monster is towering over them, and honestly, Jasper is getting a little squished. This dude thought he could handle everything, but this monster is a whole other level of scary. Alzer suddenly reveals she has ailurophobia, a fear of cats, which is so unexpected. But it turns out the monster isn't after them at all. It's terrified of cats too. The monster actually shrinks back, whimpering as Alzer holds up the cat plushie. It's hilarious. And honestly, Jasper is left speechless, completely blindsided by this turn of events. Okay, so things are getting wild at the circus. It's called Funtime Phobia, and it's living up to the name. A shadowy tendril just stoats out, aiming straight for the ringmaster, and no way is he expecting that. The tendril smashes through the circus tent, sending debris flying everywhere, and our ringmaster is thrown back. He lands in a heap, but before he can even process what just happened, more tendrils are wrapping around him. Our girl, the fearless one, rushes in, and honestly, she's not even flinching at this black goo monster. She grabs the ringmaster and starts hauling him away, dodging the tendrils like it's nothing. Total pro move. They stumble, and he falls, but she's right there to catch him, bracing him with a firm grip. She says, "Here you go," and it's so casual, like she's just helping someone up after a minor trip. Queen behavior. He's all shaky and vulnerable, and she's holding him up, but then, his legs just give. She manages to keep him from hitting the ground completely, holding him close, and honestly, the tension is real. He's totally flustered, saying it's not a big deal, but his face says otherwise. Major blush. This dude tries to play it cool, bringing up a phobia of hugs as a distraction, but it's not working. She's squeezing him tight, and he's visibly freaking out, staring wide-eyed and speechless. He's pinned against the wall, and she's confessing she never wants to leave. Okay, things are getting intense. She's practically glued to him, and he's just frozen, but honestly, he's kinda enjoying it. Her face is so close, and she's smiling sweetly. This is straight up adorable and terrifying at the same time. But wait, the screen cuts to a definition of haphophobia, the fear of being touched, which is a lot. So our girl is confessing her feelings while explaining his phobia. Talk about awkward timing. And finally, the credits roll, so we'll have to wait to see what happens next. Cliffhanger. Okay, so Jasper decides to take our girl to the circus, which is unexpected, to say the least. He's all like, "Jump, I'll catch you!" Super confident, but she's not even looking at him, bro. She's visibly freaked out, eyes wide and red, clearly not loving the circus vibe. And then, no way, a shadowy hand reaches out to grab her, like a straight-up horror movie moment. She's falling, and this dude, Jasper, is trying to be the hero, reaching for her as she plummets. But it's a trap. A shadowy figure is pulling her down, not letting Jasper catch her at all. Jasper makes a grab for her, desperate to save her from whatever's happening below. He's pulling, fighting against that shadowy force, trying to yank her back to safety. It's a struggle, and honestly, it looks like he might actually manage to pull her up. It's intense. He finally gets a grip, and they're both clinging to each other, safe for now. But what a ride! She's totally unfazed, straight up telling Jasper she isn't scared. What a queen. But Jasper's all freaked out, eyes wide and sparkly, and clutches her tightly. He's rambling about her being fearless, and she's just unbothered, honestly. Suddenly, she's getting flashbacks of falling, and it's clearly hitting her hard. She's panicking, eyes darting around, and this dude Jasper is looking so confused. Turns out our girl has phobia, the fear of falling or tripping, no way. She's completely overwhelmed, clutching her head, and Jasper looks genuinely worried now. And that's the reveal. The episode ends with the definition of phobia and the credits roll. We kick things off with a circus vibe and this dude, Funtime, looking kinda cute, not gonna lie. Funtime is straight up questioning if he's adorable, and honestly, he might be. But then our girl comes in hot, telling him you can't just say you're cute like that. Funtime is devastated, face falling apart, and we're talking full on emotional breakdown here. He dramatically collapses onto her, and she's just there, kinda awkwardly supporting him. Funtime's a mess of tears and stitched up sadness, while our girl looks super unbothered. She tries to help him up and he's all clingy, refusing to let go. It's a whole mood. But then he suddenly launches himself upwards, doing a little flip, and she's shocked, to say the least. She's climbing the steps after him, totally unfazed by his weirdness, because she's our girl and she doesn't scare easy. He's soaring through the air with a gwee, and she's right behind him, and things are getting wild. She asks what he's doing, and this dude just snuggles into her, full on seeking comfort. Close up on Funtime's face, he's looking all soft and vulnerable, it's kinda unexpected. He leans in super close, and our girl is clearly not expecting this level of affection. Funtime buries his face in her shoulder, demanding a snuggle, and honestly, she's still unbothered. She's holding him, but you can tell she's confused. Like, what is even happening right now? Funtime's eyes are sparkling. He's totally losing it over this contact. It's a bit much, bro. But then the scene cuts to a title card, Phobia, the fear of stairs. Wait, what? And we end with the credits rolling, listing the story, color assist, and editor for this wild ride. We're back at the circus, and it's looking extra creepy with this Funtime Phobia banner. Things are about to get wild. Our girl is looking down at a little kid, and honestly, he's giving off some serious vibes. Something's not right. The kid's face is a mess of cracks and an eye patch, but she's trying to force a smile, asking if he's happy. Talk about unsettling. We get a close-up of her face, and she's clearly struggling, a tear rolling down her cheek. She's putting on a brave face for this kid. She's pleading with someone, presumably the kid's guardian, to pick him up, but it's clear she feels unwanted and forgotten. She straight up says they wanted a child, not her, and the guy looking down is radiating pure anger and resentment. The guy's eyes are narrowed and intense, staring down at her, and it's a super creepy power dynamic. She's begging for a crumb of affection. The background is filled with plus signs, which is unsettling, to say the least, and she's reaching for him, but it feels desperate. She grabs his hand, but then asks, "But who cares?" It's a heartbreaking moment, and the plus signs are just adding to the dread. This dude is all smiles and affection, lifting her onto his lap, but it's totally forced and manipulative. Our girl is trapped in a nightmare. This dude is telling her to grow up strong and dapper. Talk about a weird pep talk. She's cradling the kid, and it's clear she's trying so hard to make him happy, even if it hurts. She's lifting him up, and he's clinging to her, but she's radiating pure desperation. It's heartbreaking. She declares to Husk that she should make someone happy, but it's so forced and sad. Like she needs to convince herself. Suddenly, the kid vanishes in a puff of smoke, and our girl is left clutching air. No way, what just happened? A title card appears, Phobia, the fear of happiness. Okay, things are getting seriously twisted. We get a reminder that this whole story is about the phobia of happiness. It explains so much. And finally, the credits roll, giving props to the story, color assist, and editor. A solid team. Okay, so the circus is in full swing and our girl is just vibing with Chip, the clown, when suddenly, this dude straight up collapses. Everyone's freaking out, thinking he's fainted. But it's way worse than that. No way, Chip is bleeding, and it looks serious. Our girl is immediately concerned, rushing to help him. She's cradling his head, trying to stop the bleeding, and honestly, it's a really intense scene. But then this other girl, Luna, swoops in and, get this, steals Chip's mask? Our girl is shocked and hurt, her eyes filling with tears, while Luna just looks away, kinda smug. Luna's holding Chip's mask, looking down at him, and our girl is completely devastated, tears streaming down her face. Someone asks what's going on and they're like, a cute girl stole Chip's mask. Seriously? That's an understatement. Luna is grinning while our girl is a mess, and the tension is building. This is getting messy. But wait, Luna's face is full of tears too, and she's clearly upset. What is happening? Our girl wakes up totally disoriented, demanding to know where she is and what happened. Someone yells that they don't care where she is. They just want an introduction to the little lady. Rude. Two creepy dudes in coffins suddenly appear, looking super intense and demanding to meet her. But then, someone claims there's nobody there, and the dudes try to deny it. What is going on? The panel reveals they're actually puppets, and our girl is visibly freaked out, which, honestly, is understandable. A title card flashes, Phobia, the phobia of puppets. So that explains everything, bro. And the credits roll, story by Momo, color assist by Pookie, Rassi, and Cassie, edited by Christine. Okay, so the circus freaks are back and someone's clearly not thrilled to see them. This dude is laying low, trying to be all mysterious and brooding, but things are about to get wild. The twins spot a new person and immediately want to know who the cutie is. Talk about a quick turnaround. They're reaching for this new arrival, bro, and it looks super creepy, honestly. But someone straight up yells, leave him alone. Talk about a protective vibe. No one listens, of course, and the twins just keep pushing, acting all smug and superior. The twins insist he's always anxious, like they're experts on his emotional state, which is kinda rude. They're practically smothering him, and it's clear this new guy is not enjoying the attention. One of the twins suggests scaring this guy even more, thinking it's a good time. What is wrong with them? But the other twin looks seriously disturbed, like maybe, just maybe, this is going too far. This dude is convinced he can scare her, and he's hiding a carrot in his ruffle collar. No way! He's all confident, declaring he isn't scared of her, but he's about to learn a lesson. He bursts forward with the carrot, thinking he's being terrifying, but it's honestly kinda pathetic. But hold up. He gets launched into the air by a shadowy figure, and it's a total surprise attack. The shadowy figure is revealed to be a massive, looming clown, and the twins are absolutely terrified. The clown is holding them both captive, and they're both crying. Talk about a power reversal. Turns out the clown is Phobia, and she's showcasing it with a helpful infographic. And the credits roll, story by Momo, color assist by Pookie Rassi, and Cassie edited by Christine. Okay, so we've got this whole crew of little monster dudes surrounding our girl, Princess. It's a super cute scene. But hold up, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because this one monster, a creepy clown, is plotting something. This dude straight up decides his scares aren't dramatic enough, and he needs to up his game to terrify our girl. He thinks if he feasts on her fears he'll finally impress the twins, who are constantly teasing him. Talk about motivation. He's so focused on being scary he doesn't notice he's literally crying. It's kinda sad, honestly. He imagines the fear he'll cause will shake things up, and he's already picturing the twins' shocked faces. He's practicing his scary steps, but it looks more like a wobbly stumble. No way he'll scare anyone like that. He's getting intense, eyes narrowed, and preparing to unleash his ultimate scare. It's a little much, TB. However, he's clearly struggling to maintain his terrifying facade, and a tear rolls down his face. And just when you think it can't get more dramatic, we get a close-up of his desperate, tearful attempt at being scary. He peeks around the corner, trying to scare Princess, but she's already spotted him. Awkward. This dude launches into a full-on scare attempt with a watermelon, yelling like crazy. It's kinda extra. Princess just looks confused, asking what that chip is. She's totally unfazed. Our girl is a legend. He leans in, trying to intensify the scare, but Princess isn't having it. She's completely calm. He's getting desperate, practically breathing down her neck, still clutching that watermelon. But get this, it turns out he has cucurbitaceophobia, a fear of watermelons himself. The irony is real. A little info box pops up explaining his phobia, and honestly, this dude needs some therapy. He's a mess, face all scrunched up, and he's straight up terrified of his own weapon. It's hilarious. Okay, so the circus is in full swing, and our girl is totally unfazed by all the creepy clowns. This dude, Jasper, is trying to scare her, but she's just not getting it, which is honestly hilarious. Jasper teams up with another monster, a purple-haired guy, hoping two heads are better than one for scaring her. They try to ambush her, but she's just chilling, completely unbothered while they're all huddled together. The purple-haired dude is actually kinda sweet, and starts getting flustered by her lack of fear. It's a whole mood. Jasper, though, he's getting increasingly frustrated that his scare tactics aren't working on our girl. Another monster, this one with a watermelon obsession, shows up, and Jasper's like, okay, nah dude, we're gonna scare her. But the purple-haired dude calls him out, saying Jasper's failed so badly that she almost got taken to the castle. Jasper's all defensive, but the purple-haired dude isn't having it, and they start arguing right in front of her. Honestly, it's less scary and more like watching a monster middle school drama unfold. She's totally winning at this game. Jasper storms off, declaring he understands, but honestly, he looks super upset. The purple-haired dude and another monster try to explain Jasper's behavior to our girl, but she's completely lost. She asks them not to let Jasper wander into the carnival, but they're already worried he's gonna mess things up. She admits she just doesn't get what's going on with him, and the monsters are all huddled together, confused too. They're all crammed into a booth, trying to figure out Jasper, and it's giving major group therapy vibes. More monsters pile in, and it's a full-on intervention. Seriously, this is wild. The monsters are discussing Jasper, and it's clear they're starting to see him as the problem, not our girl. The final panel reveals the title, Phobia, the fear of failure, which totally explains Jasper's meltdown. Okay, so the circus is in full swing, and this dude Oso is obsessed with scaring a girl who isn't even fazed. He's all decked out in a creepy clown outfit, trying to look intimidating, but she's totally unimpressed, honestly. Oso's straight up panicking because fruit just isn't cutting it, and he needs something real-wise scary to get a reaction. He tries unleashing a massive shadow monster, thinking it'll finally do the trick, and it's honestly a pretty dramatic reveal. But our girl doesn't even flinch. She's just sitting there, totally unbothered while the shadow monster looms. Oso's face is crumbling, he's screaming internally, and it's hilarious because he's so desperate to scare her. He's completely defeated, slumped over, while the shadow monster just hangs there like a sad, inky curtain. Suddenly she asks him how he manages to be so scary, which is a total power move and throws him for a loop. Oso, looking utterly bewildered, is now getting the question flipped on him, and he's clearly lost for words. He's practically begging her for the secret, and it's clear this fearless girl has completely turned the tables on him. Oso's spiraling, wondering how his anxiety will scare her, which is just the mood, honestly. But then, a different monster appears, looking totally miserable and clutching a knife. It's a whole vibe. This dude declares they have the embodiment of fear, and honestly, we're intrigued. The shadow monster dramatically reveals pasta, like a full plate of spaghetti. Oso presents the pasta with a flourish, proclaiming, "We have pasta." It's peak chaotic energy. He's serving it up with a creepy smile, and it's just the most ridiculous reveal ever. Turns out this whole circus runs on Phobia. The fear of pasta, no way! The credits roll, listing the story, color assist, and editor, wrapping up this wild ride. And honestly, we need more monster-themed phobias in our lives. This is brilliant. Okay, so we're back at the circus and things are unsettling, to say the least. This dude, a creepy ringmaster type, is carrying around a bowl of pasta and it's kinda weird. He questions Chippy about the pasta, like, "Why are you carrying a bowl of noodles? Seriously?" But Chippy is straight up plotting something evil, and this guy is about to interrupt his scheming. He tries to squish Chippy with the bowl of pasta, but our girl steps in to save the day. The ringmaster is furious, declaring he doesn't need tomato sauce. He needs the blood of his enemies. Chippy, still clinging to the ringmaster, looks totally unbothered by this whole threat. And then, no way, the ringmaster just starts slurping down the pasta, completely ignoring everyone. The ringmaster is still slurping, and honestly, it's a power move. Our girl demands an explanation for this bizarre behavior, and we're left hanging with a cliffhanger. The ringmaster tries to reassure Chippy, saying it's okay if he's not scary, but our little monster wants to be. Chippy attempts to look menacing, but it's kind of failing. He's just a little guy with big feelings. However, the ringmaster quickly shuts that down, explaining they didn't bring Chippy here to scare anyone. He reveals they found Chippy and wanted to keep him safe, which is a total 180 from the whole monster circus vibe. The ringmaster gets super close to our girl, confessing they brought Chippy here so he could be safe, and it's kinda sweet. But wait, the final panel reveals the whole story is about more phobia, the fear of tomato sauce or ketchup. And that's it. Credits roll, and we're left wondering what this all means. But honestly, I'm intrigued. Okay, so we're at the circus and everything seems kinda spooky, but our girl isn't fazed at all. This dude and another circus performer found her, and they swear they didn't bring her here to scare people. They want to protect her. But hold up. We cut to this poor kid soaking wet in the rain, clearly beaten up, and it's a total mood swing. Someone asks why he's out in the downpour, and the answer is brutal. He's being punished, straight up. We get a close-up, and this kid is hurting badly, covered in scrapes and blood. It's rough. The tall, dark-haired guy approaches, looking all intimidating in the rain, and honestly, it's a power move. He announces a decree: this kid has to wear a mask from now on, no questions asked. We get a super close-up of the guy's face, and you can see he's not playing around. Serious vibes. And then, the big reveal: the mask is placed on the kid's face, hiding everything. It's so sad. The guy says the mask will hide him until he can smile again, which is a sweet sentiment, but also super creepy considering where they are. Okay, so the circus ringleader makes a big announcement. "Attention all the freaks at the circus." Suddenly 2 creepy clowns burst onto the scene shouting, "Star O!" And it's a total ambush. A megaphone blares a message to Jasper, telling him today is the day he finally gets a visit. The clowns grab Jasper and straight up tell him they've taken Rayleigh, claiming she's breaking the law. Jasper's like, wait a second. But they don't even let him finish before revealing Rayleigh's masked face. Rayleigh looks totally confused, blinking with one eye covered. What is happening? Jasper is clearly upset, clutching his head and looking all stressed out. But he tries to stay strong. We get a close-up of someone's face, and they're smiling, but it's a super unsettling, creepy smile. No way. The ringleader says they've prepared a whole party for Jasper, and set the table just like old times. The scene zooms in on someone wearing red gloves and a red bow, and they're giving off major villain vibes. Jasper's absolutely losing it, clutching his head and hearing Bev dumped sounds. It's a total breakdown. A skeletal hand reaches out, and our girl is strapped to a chair. No way, this is escalating fast. They reveal a sign announcing carnophobia, the phobia of carnivals, which is just on the nose, honestly. The red-gloved villain is giving off major "I'm about to cause chaos" energy, and Jasper looks wrecked. Credits roll, and we're left hanging. Seriously, this cliffhanger is killing me, bro. Okay, so Funtime Phobia starts with a super ominous title card. This is already getting intense. This dude, Chippy, is straight up attacking someone, and it looks brutal, honestly. No way, Chippy's got this spiral eye thing going on, and it's terrifying like a black hole. It only took seconds for all this to happen, and the scene cuts to black, which is a mood. We get a close-up of the red and gold circus tent. It's all creepy stripes and shadows. Someone is taking steps, and there's a silhouette of a little figure walking toward the tent. Our girl is swaying, looking confused, but then she spots Chippy. What's even happening? Chippy appears, looking all mysterious and smirking, like he's been waiting for her. He says he's been looking for her, calling her little lost. Super creepy vibes, right? Chippy is rocking this wild circus outfit and giving off major bad boy energy, but honestly, she should run. Chippy says they aren't Chip, but then suddenly spreads these massive, star-speckled wings. No way! He swoops down and grabs our girl, lifting her into the air with a FWOH. Talk about a dramatic entrance. This dude is flying, and she's clinging to him, but it looks less like rescue and more like kidnapping. She slams into something, and it's a total dode, and poof. What just happened? We get a close-up of our girl, and she's clearly dazed, with blood trickling down her face. Ouch. Chippy declares someone named Leanna will pay for this, but then admits this was almost her legs. What is going on? She's still reeling, eyes spinning, as everything around her seems to be crashing down. Total chaos. He says he broke him, but who is him? This is getting seriously confusing. They explain it's about abductophobia, the fear of being kidnapped, which, honestly, makes total sense right now. The credits roll, showing the creative team and a sketch of Chippy and our girl, but he looks so sad. Okay, so the story starts with a super creepy carnival poster, Funtime Phobia, and things are already unsettling, honestly. Someone's being PPD into place, like physically grabbed and forced to cooperate. It's intense. This dude is demanding she be handed over, no pun intended, and it's giving major villain vibes. She's invited to the carnival as the ladies' dinner guest, which sounds fancy, but is definitely a trap. We get a full look at this creepy ringmaster character, complete with a stitched-up face and unsettling accessories. A hand reaches down, and it looks like they're about to yank something off her head. No way! She gets bumped, jolted backward, and it's a total mess. She's clearly shaken up, bro. She's falling, and this hand is style trying to snatch whatever's on her head. It's a chaotic scene. But she's determined, straight up declaring she can fix him, even while falling. Our girl is fearless. She's got this I got this energy, but the situation is so messed up, and it's a cliffhanger moment. She crashes into someone, but it's not a solid landing. It's the stitched-up clown, and she's grabbing his face. The clown nods at another figure, and it's unsettlingly obedient like a puppet on strings. This dude is straight up ripping pieces off her head, and it's horrifying, but she's still trying to fix him. He's peeling layers off her, revealing more and more. It's super disturbing, honestly. She's now dangling upside down, held by the clown, surrounded by a ton of BA2MP text. What is it, man? We get a close-up of her face, and she looks resigned, like she's accepted this is happening. The clown's boss yells at him, demanding he fix her, and this dude is getting seriously berated. The clown nods again, still completely compliant, and it's giving major creepy vibes. But wait, she's suddenly upright, and the clown is looking at her with a little hope. We get a title card to Telephobia, the fear of imperfection, and it all clicks. This whole thing is about control. Okay, so things are hating up at the circus, and we're straight up introduced to Funtime Phobia. This little girl, Chip, is super worried about a broken, down puppet and desperately wants to fix him. She's got this intense stare at another girl, and honestly, it's kinda creepy, like she's sizing her up. A creepy ringmaster offers to lift this teen up toward a balloon, saying she's surprisingly small for her age. She's being hoisted up, but something feels off. This whole situation is giving major bad vibes. She's now on a platform, and this dude tells her to be quiet, which is a red flag if I've ever seen one. The ringmaster is eyeing her like she's a tiny little doll, and it's unsettling, to say the least. Someone questions if 16-year-olds are supposed to be this fragile, but bro, this isn't about fragility. The ringmaster is pulling her closer to the balloon, and it's becoming increasingly clear this isn't a rescue, but Chip. She's focused on fixing that puppet, and she's determined to get this done, no matter what. Chip is so excited about the carnival, calling it way better than the circus, but her friend straight up hates it. This dude, the ringmaster, is not having it. He calls Chip a little brat and warns her things won't be easy. He explains this carnival scares people, unlike the circus, and is all about lost souls, which is ominous. Chip is squeezing her friend super tight, but her friend is clearly freaking out and asks what's wrong with her. Chip insists she stay with her at all times, saying she'd rather her vanish than be killed. Talk about intense. The ringmaster is looking down at Chip's friend, and she's taking a step forward onto what looks like a stage. He reaches for her hand, asking her to take it, but she immediately scurries away from him. Smart move, girl. But wait, it turns out Chip's friend has globophobia, the fear of balloons, and this carnival is full of them. The screen defines globophobia, and honestly, this is a nightmare scenario for her. Okay, so her friend is totally panicking, surrounded by balloons, and Chip is just calmly explaining globophobia. Like she knew this would happen. But the ringmaster is all, oh, she's really scared, and it's super creepy how pleased he sounds. Okay, so our girl is at this creepy circus, and it's giving major bad vibes right off the bat. She steps onto what looks like a stage, but it's actually a trapdoor, and she just falls through. No way! She lands in a totally different area, which is all sparkly and weird, and honestly, it looks like a dream. This dude, who's kinda creepy himself, finds her and carries her. But he's not being nice about it, straight up. He's ranting about how she's a little brat, and she's just staring him down, completely unfazed. He sets her down, and she notices all the sand is gone, replaced by a bizarre, starry sky. What is happening? He's muttering to himself about the missing sand and the strange sky, clearly losing it a little bit. She points out the sky is creepy, but then calls him out. She's not scared of anything. This girl is fearless. He keeps yelling at her, but our girl isn't backing down. She's ready to throw hands if she has to. But then he just peeks at her, and it's so unsettling, like he's planning something seriously twisted. He warns her about killer teddy bears and tells her not to run off again. Seriously, what is UP with the bears? She asks if the teddy bears are like Oso, and bro, that's a mistake. He straight up loses it, yelling that Oso is a cat, not a bear. The confusion is real. She's totally shocked by this revelation, and honestly, same. They finally arrive at a fancy building, and he announces the carnival leader, Jolly, lives there. She's climbing the stairs, and he's trailing behind, mumbling about fixing someone. Who even is this him? She declares she doesn't care, she just wants Jolly to fix whoever needs fixing, no questions asked. And then, a shadowy figure just collapses right in front of them, out of nowhere. She's determined to help whoever this is, and honestly, our girl has a heart of gold. Credits roll, leaving us on a cliffhanger. What's going on with this carnival, and who is Jolly? We're kicking off with this creepy circus intro. Seriously, the vibes are unsettling right from the start. Someone's trying to get to a boy named Jasper, and honestly, it's a little intense. This woman, Julie, appears out of nowhere and is all like, excuse me, which is weirdly polite for this situation. Julie straight up reveals she's Jasper's mother. But Jasper doesn't even remember her, which is a total mind trip. She's laying down the law, saying if Jasper wants a new daughter, he can't have one without her permission. No way. Julie's giving off major villain energy with that close up, and the makeup is definitely not subtle. A feast is laid out, all cupcakes and sweets. It's supposed to be sweet, but it feels super ominous. Jasper is locked up and looks absolutely miserable, clutching his head in distress. Poor guy. Julie demands they fix him, and the way she says it is seriously chilling, like she's talking about a broken toy. She's got that I'm in control look, and it's clear Jasper is trapped in something way bigger than he realizes. Jasper reveals his mother is dead. He watched her die, and it's a seriously heavy moment. Julie is now having it, demanding to know how Jasper speaks to mothers. Bro, what is happening? He confesses he doesn't know how to talk to a mother, and Julie slams him down, like a total power move. Jasper drops a bombshell, his mother is gone, and he actually saw it happen, which is dark. A bunch of other kids are reacting to this reveal, looking confused and scared. It's a total mess. Julie demands they fix this puppet so she can see Chip smile when she goes back, and honestly, she's terrifying. We get a quick definition of pemophobia, the fear of puppets, and it's suddenly all clicking into place. The credits roll, and it's a bit anticlimactic after that reveal. Okay, so our girl is prepping for a big show, and the atmosphere is seriously creepy circus vibes. Chip, one of the performers, is getting ready, and he's feeling confident, maybe a little confident. He brags about how handsome he looks to our girl, hoping for a compliment, but she's totally unfazed. But wait, things take a dark turn as we see cracks forming on Chip's mask. Something is seriously wrong. Chip's face is visibly glitching and breaking apart, and honestly, it's terrifying to watch. The cracking intensifies, and we see more of the monster underneath the facade, which is straight up horrifying. The circus around them starts to distort and fall apart, hinting that Chip's breakdown is affecting reality itself. Oso, another performer, notices the chaos and looks genuinely concerned for Chip's well-being. Oso and Chip are both visibly shaken, with Oso looking scared and Chip completely losing it. However, this dude is straight up shivering and looks like he's about to fall apart. This is getting intense. Leanna demands to see Jasper's face, but he absolutely refuses. Something is seriously wrong with him. Jasper reveals he doesn't want Leanna to see him because he's about to hurt another one of their daughters, Rayleigh. He insists Rayleigh will be safe, and he's determined to protect her, even if it means keeping his distance. Everyone throws shade saying Leanna is too soft on teens and overly attached to Rayleigh. Ouch, harsh. Jasper tries to shut them down, but Leanna won't let it go, demanding he stop whatever he's planning. She grabs his face, and it's a total mess, cracked, glitching, and clearly not right. He's falling apart and it's heartbreaking, but Leanna is holding on tight, refusing to let him go. Leanna declares the Jasper she loves is overconfident, but she's going to fix things, no matter what. She's determined to protect Rayleigh and fix Jasper, even if it means facing whatever's happening head on. Leanna looks straight into the camera, her expression full of determination. Our girl is a force of nature. Leanna attempts to kiss Jasper, but he recoils, yelling BADMP and clearly terrified of physical touch. We get a definition: Jasper suffers from phobia, the fear of kisses, which is a lot to unpack, honestly. Credits roll, naming the story writer, color assistants, and editor, because this whole situation is wild. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable, quirky circus performers. It's a total vibe. But things take a dark turn because she's freaking out about someone, desperately needing to fix them. She's got this whole Funtime phobia thing going on, and it seems like she's the only one who can save this dude. She's straight up spiraling, convinced everyone will hate her if she fails to bring him back to normal. She clutches him so tightly, and honestly, it's a little creepy, but she's clearly distraught. Someone questions if she can even tell when people are lying, which is a low blow, but kinda hits home. She's overcome with gloom, hugging this shadowy figure who looks not great, to say the least. This dude, the one she's trying to fix, is giving off major unsettling vibes with those yellow eyes and creepy smile. She peers into a strange, glowing sphere, and it's covered in a pentagram. No way, this is getting intense. And the sphere, it's radiating some seriously messed up energy, like whatever she's doing is super dangerous. She's trying to fix Chip, but things are going sideways fast, straight up chaotic. He's freaking out, surrounded by glowing sparks, and our girl is totally overwhelmed. Someone shouts at her to deal with it, and honestly, the pressure is mounting. She's desperately trying to contain Chip, but everything around them is flying everywhere. This dude protests that she can't fix him, but she just ignores it, stubborn much. He cracks under the strain and she's losing control. Things are spiraling out of control. She's struggling to hold him, and he's being flung around like a rag doll. It's intense. He's pulled back with a full sound, and everything crashes around them, total mayhem. She collapses, exhausted, and it's looking grim. Is this the end of the line? He hisses, and honestly, this dude is giving off serious villain vibes right now. This dude announces they've come to cause fear. Bro, no kidding, we already knew that. A skeletal hand reaches out, and honestly, it's a super creepy entrance. Okay, so things are not good. We open on a creepy circus vibe and this ominous warning, like something bad is about to go down. Julie is freaking out because Chip is acting super off, eyes glitching and looking totally possessed. But she's trying to stay calm. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appears and grabs Chip, and Julie is losing it, demanding they let him go. She's not messing around. Someone's telling Julie to run, to just shift into Chip, claiming it's easy because he's just one boy. Straight up delusional, right? Julie is not having it. She glares and insists Chip is two separate people, not some single entity, and things are about to get heated. We get a close-up of Chip, looking all glitchy and unsettling, and it's clear whatever's happening is serious. The figure reveals Chip has a parasitic phobia attached to him. A phobia of onophobia, that's a new level of messed up. This husk thing is covering Chip's skin, feeding off his insecurity and keeping him safe, which is obviously a huge red flag. Julie's already told them this before, but it's like nobody listens, and she's losing her patience. Someone claims Chip himself is useless, but Julie's about to prove them wrong. You just know it. Our girl doesn't back down from a challenge. Julie's straight up questioning what anyone said about Chip's insecurity, because she's about to snatch him back. Someone claims Jasper only took Chip in out of pity, but Julie is not hearing it. She's got a fire in her eyes. This blonde lady is all fancy and condescending, and Julie is not impressed with her attitude. She accuses Chip of needing help from everyone, but Julie fires back that he's a clown who can't function without it. We get a quick flash of Chip looking totally lost and vulnerable, and honestly, it's heartbreaking. Julie calls out Chip's name, but he's shivering and seems miles away. Something's seriously wrong with him. Suddenly, everything goes black, and it's super dramatic. Talk about a cliffhanger. The screen reveals the definition of gelatophobia, the fear of being laughed at. And it's Chip's phobia. No way! It turns out this whole time, Chip's been terrified of being mocked or ridiculed. And honestly, this explains so much. The husk is feeding off that fear and keeping him trapped. Julie's suddenly remembering Chip mentioning his parents were performers, and they were relentlessly criticized. But it all clicks now. The husk isn't just creating his fear, it's exploiting a deeply rooted trauma. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable, yet creepy little monster mascots. It's a whole vibe. Meanwhile, this little stuffed fox Oso is wandering around a totally messed up playroom, looking lost and sad. The circus is officially starting, and the title card drops. Funtime Phobia. But things are already getting weird. Oso's wandering leads him to a massive, unsettling Ferris wheel looming over the circus grounds, and it's giving major bad vibes. Oso is straight up freaking out, realizing something is seriously wrong with Husk. But he's determined to figure it out. Sai Oso is so stressed, he needs help and fast, because Chip has been sent to find Rayleigh. But here's the kicker: if Husk loses control and hurts Chip's feelings, things are gonna get messy, real messy. Oso's totally bracing himself. It's a tense moment, like he knows something terrible is about to happen. And then, PHWO, we get a glimpse of a woman's face looking intense, and it's clear she's the source of the trouble. She's got a plan to mess with Husk, and honestly, Oso is already anticipating a disaster, and we're right there with him. The woman straight up declares she's going to put Husk on a pole and parade him around the castle. Talk about dramatic. Oso tries to stop her, grabbing at her arm, but she's surprisingly strong and pushes him away. She's ripping open Husk's chest, and honestly, it's horrifying, but we get a glimpse of something unexpected inside. It turns out Husk is stuffed with buttons, and Oso catches a glimpse, but he has a serious phobia. No way, this is good. She continues tearing him open, revealing even more buttons, and Oso's reaching out, desperate to intervene. Suddenly, a knife flies through the air, woo, and Oso is yanked back, narrowly avoiding disaster. The knife sinks into Husk, and it's brutal, but someone is clearly protecting Oso, even if it's risky. But here's the twist: it's Oso's own little fox friend doing the stabbing. What? This is getting wild. A title card appears: Campanophobia, which is the fear of buttons, and it all clicks. Oso is traumatized, so Oso's fear is being weaponized against him. However, the woman is using it to control Husk. It's a messed up power play. Okay, so our girl and this dude are falling, like tumbling head over heels, into some kind of dark abyss. She's totally unfazed, but he's freaking out, seeing a huge X and bracing for impact. They crash land, and it's surprisingly soft, like a pile of cushions or something. The circus ringleader is showing off the big top, and honestly, it's kinda creepy with all those eyes. Our girl is closing her eyes, seemingly enjoying the show, while this dude is straight up terrified. He's got stars in his eyes and looks completely mesmerized, like he's lost in a dream or a nightmare. They're both falling again, this time upside down, and she's still chilling while he's panicking. He asks if they died, which is a little dramatic but fair. They just fell from a long way up. He's staring up at her with wide eyes, and she's looking down at him, seemingly unbothered. We get a glimpse of the ringleader again, and things are about to get wild. You can just feel it. Our girl's totally lost her footing and tumbles forward, looking super flustered for once. She's falling, and this dude is trying to catch her, but it's a disaster. Both of them crash to the ground with a thud, and our girl is clearly out of it. He tries to grab her, and she's just laying there, looking dazed and confused. He asks if she's okay, but she's already starting to float upwards, glowing with a weird energy. She's rising higher and higher, and this dude is staring up at her with a mix of worry and awe. A bright light surrounds her, and she's changing. It's like her powers are going wild. Suddenly, she's soaring through the air, leaving a trail of sparkling energy behind her. She's flying fast, and it looks like she's headed straight for the ringleader. No way! She collides with him, sending them both tumbling, and honestly, this dude had it coming. He shrugs, which is honestly a terrible response to her flying around like a superhero. We get a quick info dump. Apparently, she has astrophobia, fear of space and stars, which is ironic. A little head pops up and delivers the phobia info, then quickly ducks out of sight. And now we get the credits. Momo on story, Pookie, Rassi, and Cassie on color, and Christine editing? Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable yet spooky little circus performers. It's kinda her crew. This dude, the ringleader, is all smiles and showmanship, but there's something seriously off about him, right? Suddenly, the little blonde girl with the bows is getting yanked away, like, straight up snatched from the group. She tries to fight it, looking totally annoyed, but whatever's grabbing her is way too strong. No way. She's flung into the darkness, and it's super dramatic, with all these motion lines and a whoosh sound effect. She's zooming through the air, looking terrified, while some shadowy figure looms closer. It's intense. But then, the shadowy figure just drops her, like, casually tosses her down with a whip sound. She crashes onto something, and it's a full-on slam. Honestly, she's taking a beating. This shadowy figure just poofs away with a poof sound, leaving our girl completely stunned and shaken. She's left lying there, looking completely defeated, and lets out a small, defeated, poor thing. She's totally shocked, eyes wide and heart-shaped pupils popping, like seriously freaked out. She blurts out Jasper, my love, and then reveals he warned her he was coming, but she didn't clean. She's blushing so hard, covering her face with her hands, and straight up giddy about his arrival. But then, she hears a tiny voice and sees her little clown puppet is hurt, and Jasper is blamed. She's furious, demanding to know what he did to her puppets, and accusing him of hurting her little clown. Jasper hisses back and bro, it's a legit snake-like hiss, super creepy and intimidating. He explains he came to make peace, but found Chip hurt and Rayleigh gone. Things are escalating quickly. A second, equally upset performer demands Jasper bring her back, and honestly, she looks terrifying. She's practically begging for Rayleigh's return, tears welling up. This whole situation is a mess. She screams for Rayleigh to come back to her. And our girl is just caught in the middle of this drama. This performer is absolutely losing it, screaming she'll take Rayleigh's head if Oso doesn't. Someone else points out she's holding a gun. Like, seriously, a gun? She fires, but it just reveals the performer has hopophobia, a fear of weapons and firearms. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these creepy carnival characters. It's a whole vibe. She asks if everyone's at the carnival, and this little plushie with a knife straight up nods. The title card drops Funtime Phobia, which, honestly, is a perfect description of this whole situation. She's looking for Trick, this dude who's apparently gone missing, and asks if anyone's seen him. But then she realizes Trick must have fallen out of husk with her. That's a relief, right? However, as she's rolling around, she grabs something, and it's definitely not a fluffy pillow. She's hugging this thing, and it looks super distressed, like it's really not okay. The plushie nods, confirming something is very wrong, and then, bang, sounds erupt all around them. More bangs, broken glass, and our girl just holds on tight, looking completely unfazed. She's a pro. And honestly, this girl isn't scared of anything, even a chaotic carnival and a potentially haunted plushie. This dude, the ringmaster, scoops her up, relieved she wasn't scared off. He's such a softie. He's all, let's go home. But our girl looks confused, like she doesn't even know what that means. The ringmaster gives her a tight hug, and she instinctively clutches his coat. It's kinda sweet. But then she questions home, and starts squeezing his coat, and you can tell something is seriously wrong. Her grip tightens, and her knuckles are white. She's digging into his coat like her life depends on it. And then, no way, something starts dripping from the ringmaster's coat, staining his red jacket. It's a golden, gooey substance, and it's dripping fast, like, alarmingly fast. Another drip falls, and honestly, this is getting super creepy super quick. The ringmaster is trying to stay calm, but you can tell he's starting to sweat. Our girl's expression is unreadable, but she's definitely sensing something is off. This is gonna be good. Our girl suddenly realizes the golden goo is coming from the ringmaster. It's leaking out of him. She grips his coat tighter, but it's not fear driving her now. It's like she's trying to hold him together. He tries to reassure her, saying it's nothing, but his voice is shaky and he's clearly panicking. But the dripping intensifies, and the ringmaster doubles over in pain. It's straight up horrifying. She's now holding him upright, her expression finally shifting from blank to genuine concern. Wow. And then, out of nowhere, she asks if he's broken, like he's a malfunctioning doll. It's so weird. Okay, so our girl Rayleigh is surrounded by all these cute, creepy circus monsters. It's a whole vibe. This circus is called Funtime Phobia, which honestly is a bit on the nose, but whatever. Rayleigh is suddenly looking super confused, like what just happened? And she's staring at something off panel. She realizes something is missing, and straight up says empty. Something's definitely not right with our girl. Another character asks if she's okay, but Rayleigh is clearly freaking out about whatever's gone missing. Rayleigh insists everything is empty, and it's super unsettling. She's usually fearless, so this is a big deal. Suddenly, she's yanked away into the darkness, and it happens so fast. No way, what's going on? Everything goes black, and we hear this WOC sound. Bro, this is getting intense. We see a glimpse of Rayleigh floating in the dark with another character. But honestly, it's mostly just void. They're surrounded by stars, and it looks like they've been transported somewhere else entirely. What a cliffhanger! Jasper appears, floating in the darkness, and starts calling out Rayleigh's name. Super creepy, right? A ringmaster greets Jasper, saying it's wonderful to see him, and Jasper asks what brings him to the carnival. Jasper straight up refuses to answer, saying she already knows why he's here. Talk about mysterious. The ringmaster asks why Jasper trampled into the carnival, and Jasper seems annoyed. This dude is a mess. Jasper reveals someone stole something that belonged to Chip, and he's willing to accept any punishment for it. But it gets weirder. The ringmaster says someone with stared eyes can't leave until they find out why. Apparently, this person also protected Trick from the carnival, so they need to bring his head back. No way! The ringmaster declares they've decided to punish Rayleigh, and honestly, this is getting intense. Jasper looks off into the distance, seeming to consider everything. He's definitely plotting something. The ringmaster finishes his statement, and it's clear things are about to go da bum and bro. The ringmaster unleashes some serious power, and it looks like a massive wave of energy hits Jasper and Rayleigh. Echo! This dude, the ringmaster, grabs little Trick and starts hauling him away, while Jasper is left reeling. Talk about a power move. The ringmaster drops a bomb. They both will face a punishment together, and honestly, it's a twisted game. He wishes Jasper good luck, calling him old friend. But something tells us this isn't a friendly gesture at all. We get a title card revealing the phobia of this arc is Phobia, the fear of kings, and honestly, it fits perfectly. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable yet spooky circus performers. It's a whole vibe. This dude, Jasper, is the ringleader, and he's giving off major bad vibes with his whole Funtime Phobia setup. Rayleigh gets pulled into a hug by Jasper, but she's clearly not feeling it. She looks totally terrified. No way she's okay. She's seeing something, and it's freaking her out. But Jasper insists it's just a punishment for breaking his rules. Her eyes are straight up glowing, and she's clearly in pain, but Jasper is acting like everything's fine. Talk about sketchy. Suddenly, everything goes wild, flames erupt, and it looks like Rayleigh's being consumed, but Jasper holds on tight. He's shouting her name over the chaos, promising he won't leave her in the darkness, and honestly, it's a little sweet. But then, he makes this crazy declaration about coming back for her. And it's like, wait, what's going on here? He's practically dissolving into flames while making promises, and it's super intense. She's losing him. He's clutching her, and it's all fiery chaos, but he swears he'll find her. This is a cliffhanger, and I need answers. Jasper is practically begging Rayleigh to stay silent, warning her that they will devour her fear if she screams. He's holding her face, desperately trying to keep her quiet, and honestly, it's a super intense moment. Rayleigh's clutching at his arm, and you can see the fear in her eyes. But she's trying so hard not to make a sound. She's squeezing her eyes shut, bracing for something awful, while Jasper's grip tightens and his expression is intense. The scene cuts to a close-up of Rayleigh, and you can see the internal struggle. She's terrified, but determined to stay strong. Then it's back to Jasper, looking all protective, and he's whispering reassurances, promising to keep her safe. But the atmosphere is still super creepy, and you can feel the tension building as they wait for whatever's coming. Rayleigh's eyes snap open, and it's like she's making a decision. She's not going to let her fear control her. She's staring straight ahead, trying to appear brave, but the fear is still there, swirling in her eyes. Jasper looks at her, and there's a glimmer of something in his expression. Maybe hope, maybe relief, but it's definitely something. This dude, Jasper, is straight up telling Rayleigh he's met her countless times before. Super creepy. He claims he's her guiding light in the darkness, and honestly, it's giving major red flags. Rayleigh's suddenly bathed in this golden glow, and it looks like she's accepting some kind of power. But the glow intensifies, and her eyes go completely black. No way, she's changing! Jasper's hair is swirling around like crazy, and he's looking distressed, to say the least. The scene cuts to black, and the title card flashes Photophobia. Okay, this is getting intense. Okay, so everyone's gathered. It's a whole crew of circus freaks and our girl is right in the middle? This creepy circus tent is the heart of everything, and it's apparently got some serious rules. A mysterious woman offers to guide someone through the darkness, promising to lead them to Jasper. She grabs Jasper's hand, and they start walking, but honestly things feel super ominous. She warns that Jasper is in a lot of trouble, but that's an understatement, bro. This place is wild. Apparently, if anyone breaks the rules here, they get sent to relive their biggest fear. No way! The woman reveals they're almost there, and the tension is building with every step. They reach a door, and she explains what's behind it. Jasper's greatest fear is locked inside. Our girl and the woman stand before the door, ready to face whatever nightmare is waiting on the other side. And the woman straight up says Jasper's fear is behind that door. This is getting intense. She opens the door, and it's empty. But wait, she notices a briefcase on the floor. This dude is walking away looking totally unbothered, and honestly, it's suspicious. She spots a trail of blood leading away from the briefcase. Something is seriously wrong. She calls out saying Jasper is gone, and the woman just stares blankly, which is kinda creepy. Our girl starts running, determined to find Jasper, and she's not slowing down for anyone. She's speeding through the circus, but it's like a maze. She can't find him anywhere. She stops breathing hard, and her vision starts to blur. Is she losing it? She's seeing double, everything's spinning, and she's totally disoriented. No way! Suddenly, she realizes the footprints aren't Jasper's. They're way too small, bro. She looks down and sees the blood is actually a trail of red glitter, and this is not good. She realizes the glitter trail is coming from a doll, a creepy porcelain doll, bro. But then she remembers Jasper's childhood fear dolls, and it hits her like a ton of bricks. She's suddenly overwhelmed with the phobia herself. Entomophobia, the fear of doors, is taking hold. Okay, so everyone's gathered around Princess, looking all cute and colorful. It's a total circus vibe. But hold up, the mood shifts fast with this warning about upsetting imagery. Yikes. Someone's saying no, like they can't believe what's happening, and honestly, we're right there with them. We see a black shoe stepping in something red. It's blood, no doubt about it, and things are getting dark. This dude is kneeling, and a maid is standing over him with a knife, straight up menacing. More blood, more panic, and the scene is super unsettling with this grayscale filter. It's intense. She's got blood on her face, smiling creepily, and he's just there, looking helpless. She asks if he's excited and says she's relieving his stress, but it's so twisted and creepy. Tears are streaming down his face, and the blood is literally dripping from her. It's horrific. He's completely broken, and she's just watching, and it's a truly terrifying moment. She's looking at him with hard eyes, and someone else is staring with a creepy smile. It's a lot. The smiling person has blood dripping down their face, and it's straight up horrifying. No way. He's standing in a long hallway, and there's blood smeared on the checkered floor. It's a bad sign. We get a close-up of the smiling person, and they're looking directly at our girl. So unsettling. She's staring back, looking blank, and honestly, her expression is sending chills. The screen shows a photo of her with a man labeled Best Dad, but then the text flashes. He's dead. We're back with the smiling person, and the scene is bathed in red. It's super dramatic. She's looking down, a little smile playing on her lips, and it's a total mood shift. They say she was just a child, and our girl's expression is so sad, it's heartbreaking. She was just a child, and this dude is about to regret everything. You can feel it. She asks if he's as happy as she is, but it's a totally twisted question, bro. He's getting stepped on, literally. And this woman is smiling down at him. No way! She's leaning in close, and he's clearly terrified, but she's just getting closer. She's all up in his face, and honestly that smile is sending shivers down my spine. She swings a chair at him, and it's brutal. But she says it's because she loves him. Another swing, and this dude is getting wrecked, but she's still smiling, straight up unhinged. She confesses she'd have done anything for a dad like him. It's a total bombshell. She says she wanted someone to care, and it's a super sad reveal, but also creepy. The screen goes black, and then we get the title, Cathedraphobia, the phobia of chairs. Credits roll, listing the story, color assist, and editor. This team is killing it. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these cute little monster versions of the circus crew. It's kinda adorable, honestly. But things take a hard turn, bro. We're suddenly in this super creepy dark hallway, and the vibe is instantly different. This dude, one of the circus performers, is straight up attacking a maid, and it's brutal, like Folk on rage mode. He smacks her across the face, and she goes flying, hitting the floor hard, and it's not pretty. She's on the ground, looking totally helpless, while another performer and a little girl are clearly terrified by this dude. He's looming over them now, and it's clear he's about to do something really bad. No way this is gonna end well. He raises his hand, and then bam, he brings something down on the maid's head, and we hear a sickening thud. The sound is awful, and it looks like he actually hit her with it, and everything goes dark for a beat. But then, this dude turns to the little girl and straight up says he's gonna give her a different nightmare to remember. And honestly, the look on his face is terrifying. This isn't just a circus anymore, it's a full-blown horror show. Our girl stops this dude cold, and he's seriously shocked. Like, what just happened? He's furious, eyes bloodshot, and straight up demands to know why she interfered. She tells him she stopped him, and then drops the bomb he ruined it all. He's completely unhinged, ranting about how she's messed everything up for him. This dude's losing it, and our girl just glares at him with this intense, unreadable expression. He accuses her of being horribly wrong, and honestly, the tension is THK. But even though he's furious, he admits he's strangely curious about what she'll do next. He's got this twisted fascination with her. It's creepy, but also kinda intriguing, right? She doesn't say a word, just stares back, and it's clear she's not scared of him at all. And that's it, cliffhanger. This dude is obsessed, and our girl is playing a dangerous game. He asks if she'll join them, whatever them is, and our girl is totally unfazed, looking right through him. She's clearly disturbed, but she doesn't show it. Just a barely visible tremor as she stares back at this dude. Everyone is asleep in the circus tent, piled on top of each other, and it's a surprisingly cozy scene, honestly. But then, a dark figure looms over them all, and it's seriously ominous. This is where things get creepy again. He poses the question, will she become one of them, or will she be the end of them all? No pressure, right? The final panel reveals the meaning of the episode title on Phobia, the fear of dreams, and it's a total mind trip. Okay, so we're at the circus and things are tense, to say the least. Jasper and our girl are playing some weird game, and honestly, Jasper looks super messed up. He gets a hug, which he definitely doesn't expect, and straight up freaks out, like full-blown panic. He's asking what's with her face, but she's the one who should be asking about highs. Everyone's worried about Jasper, but he's trying to play it cool, insisting he's totally fine. But she's not buying it, asking what he means by being okay, because something's clearly wrong. He claims he's okay, and then, boom, suddenly he looks a little less okay, a little more haunted. They ask if she wants to go see him, and she's all in, ready to check on this dude immediately. And then, out of nowhere, they're lifting her up, like carrying her through the circus? No way! This is getting intense, and I have a feeling things are about to get even weirder. So, they're rushing to see Jasper, and it turns out he ate her, like literally consumed her. He and Husk are apologizing. Husk is too shy to even speak up, which is kinda cute, honestly. She explains she got nervous and couldn't bring him back properly, and Jasper's getting all flustered. He admits she almost scared him, and not because of anything he did. That's a huge deal. She's thinking hard, and then, Dianju, it hits her she's scared of not scaring people. She lays down the law if he doesn't want her to be scared of anyone but him. He has to stay close. He immediately agrees, and then flip, he's pulling her into a tight hug, bro. They're all tangled up in blankets, and she's squeezing him super tight, but it's kinda sweet. And then we get a little info dump. This dude has hypnophobia, fear of falling asleep or waking up. Okay, so it's all about his fear, and that explains so much about his behavior. Jasper's getting super defensive, insisting he's not afraid of anything. But our girl calls him out on it immediately. Okay, so Trix is totally stressing because they don't have enough thread to fix Chip. Like, their puppet bro is broken. She apologizes, saying Chip isn't waking up yet, and honestly, it's a rough scene. Someone asks if Chip will wake up soon, but the response is straight up, I can't do it. Talk about a mood. This dude can't handle being alone, which, fair enough when your friend is a broken puppet, right? But Trix promises to figure out how to get more thread. She's trying to stay positive despite everything. We get a close-up of Chip, and he looks rough, to say the least, with a messed-up face and sad vibes. Then, a strip of fabric just flips off Chip, making things even worse. It's kinda heartbreaking. This other dude, who is apparently Trix's brother, sighs dramatically, looking all gloomy and worried. He's freaking out about what she might do to Chip, calling him dumb and admitting he worries. A little intense, bro. But then the scene shifts and it's like when she was in danger. Everything changed for them both. Okay, so Chip's brother starts shuffling forward, like he's making a decision. A really weird one. He's remembering when Trix was in danger and how it changed everything for him. It's a flashback moment. He's straight up admitting he thinks Trix is too soft, not a fighter like he is. Ouch, harsh words. But then he says if she had just followed him, Chip would be safe, and it's a total blame game. He doubles down, calling Chip a squishy toy and insisting he's the protector. Bro, seriously? And now he's on a mission, declaring he's going back for that thread, no matter what. We see him walking towards a creepy, dark building, and honestly, it looks like trouble. He's getting closer, stepping over a line of rocks, and the atmosphere is super ominous. The building is massive and imposing, and it feels like he's walking right into danger's lair. He's determined, though, and doesn't seem fazed at all. This dude is either brave or reckless. So, Chip's brother is confronting Trix, questioning why she's even here and if she's planning something. He accuses her of being weird and insists he doesn't need her help, but our girl is totally unfazed. She just stares at him with this unbothered expression, and honestly, it's kinda iconic. She's not scared of him either. Okay, so we've got this whole crew of adorable plushies, and our girl is totally their ringleader, looking cute as ever. This story starts like a fairy tale, once upon a time, but honestly, it feels a little off right from the jump. We meet Stuffy, a little bear who loves to dance with his friends, living his best plushie life. It's super wholesome. But then this snake shows up, all mysterious and glowy, and it promises Stuffy he can be anything he wants to be. Stuffy starts imagining all the cool things he could be, a robot, a cat, even a spooky monster, and gets super hyped up. He's picturing himself as everything under the sun, thinking he's got unlimited potential, and it's honestly kinda inspiring. However, the images get progressively more distorted, and it's clear something is seriously wrong with this be anything deal. The final image is just terrifying, and Stuffy realizes this isn't the fun makeover he was hoping for. He desperately wants to be anything but what he's becoming, and the mood shifts from cute to seriously creepy fast. And then total darkness. Straight up nightmare fuel. This episode is not messing around, bro. The dancing ends and it ends badly. Like, seriously, this scene is a bloodbath no cap. It's total chaos, plushies are ripped apart, stuffing everywhere, and a creepy, shadowy figure stands over it all. We get a close-up of one of the bears, and bro, it's messed up. Blood is pouring from its mouth in stitches. Someone's calling out for Leanna, saying a Stuffy has been torn apart, and the scene is just intense. We see a glimpse of the person speaking. It's a girl with dark hair and a seriously unsettling smile. She's sewing something with red thread, and it's honestly super creepy, like she's enjoying this. Everything goes dark, and the only thing visible is a tiny, abandoned stuffed animal floating in the red. Then, a flashback. This place hasn't changed at all. It's the same playroom from before, but way darker. Our girl walks through the playroom, looking back at a single, lonely doll standing amongst the toys. She's clearly haunted by whatever happened, and the whole vibe is just off. This is getting good. Leanna realizes the playroom is a manifestation of someone's fear, specifically, phobia, the fear of dancing. She understands this dude is reliving a trauma, but it doesn't make the creepy, possessed plushies any less terrifying. Okay, so everyone's gathered around our girl, and honestly, the circus crew looks like a whole mood. But things take a dark turn fast. We get a warning that what's coming is seriously upsetting. Yikes! The circus is called Funtime Phobia, and the logo is unsettling, to say the least, bro. Someone sighs, clearly bummed about something, but we don't know what yet. It's building suspense. We're in this creepy, deserted playroom, and this little dude is wandering around all alone. It's giving bad vibes. He runs into another character, and they're talking about someone named Alzer, who apparently tore someone apart? Apparently Alzer was obsessed with this guy, and now he's gone, which is just sad and disturbing, honestly. This dude is straight up crying, and it's a lot to take in, especially with the messed up backstory. Suddenly, a door slams open, and everyone's shocked. No way, this is getting intense. Someone yells, "Wait a second," like they recognize what's about to happen, and the tension is unreal. This dude recognizes the cat. It's Oso, but he's got a new name and a new life, apparently. Oso just shrugs it off, like it's no big deal, and then straight up grabs the guy's hand. The guy is now having it. He's all, "Are you kidding me?" and clearly annoyed. He accuses Oso of only showing up when he needs strings to fix the puppet brothers, which is cold. Oso's face contorts into a terrifying grin, and it's honestly a little scary. NGL. He reveals the real reason he's here. This dude can't handle the fact his kid died, and it's intense. The guy looks completely shocked, and we get a close-up of his horrified reaction. Another close-up shows the guy's face, all messed up and full of emotion. Oso casually turns away, like he doesn't even care about the emotional fallout. We get a final shot of the guy's reaction, and it's clear this conversation just hit him hard. Oso's totally losing it, ripping open his chest and spilling stuffing everywhere. It's a mess. The title card flashes Phobia, the phobia of toys, which, okay, super relevant right now. Credits roll listing the story, color assist and editor. But honestly, we need more action. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all her circus buddies. It's a cute group shot, honestly. But hold up, a warning flashes on screen telling us this episode is gonna be rough. The scene cuts to Funtime Phobia and a creepy clown, setting the stage for total chaos. Jasper's men are ambushing one of the performers, and it gets brutal, straight up ripping him apart. Another guy tries to intervene, but he meets the same fate. It's messy and quick, no way. This dude is just tearing through them, and honestly, it's terrifying to watch. We get a close-up of the carnage, and the performer is completely broken, looking absolutely wrecked. Jasper's losing men left and right, and it's clear he's not expecting this level of violence. The attacker drops the bodies, a gruesome display, and it's just a lot. And now Jasper will lose 2 of his men, but the attacker doesn't even seem fazed. The attacker starts dismembering the plushie, and it's way more disturbing than it needs to be. Jasper's men try to stop him, but it's no use. He's tearing through them like they're nothing. The attacker pulls out a spool of thread and honestly, it's a weird flex. He starts sewing himself back together while continuing the fight. Bro, this is getting intense. A woman in green grabs the plushie remains, scrunching them up in her hands. It's a super creepy gesture. She tells the attacker she's thankful, saying he saved her from starvation, but it's a total head scratcher. She says he must have a good family to be so generous, and then wishes him luck. Oso, what is happening? She's got this unsettling smile, and it's clear she's involved in this whole messed up situation. We cut back to the attacker, and it's just the destroyed plushie with a single eye staring up. Everything goes black, and a message reveals this is all about a new family. Yikes, this is a wild turn. The attacker pulls out a coin and it's only worth 0, super ominous, right? He throws the coin, and it's like a signal, because the woman in green starts laughing hysterically. She reveals Oso isn't just a name, it's a title, and she's building a new family. No way, this is messed up. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all her little monster buddies. It's kinda cute, honestly. The circus is called Funtime Phobia, and things are already a little off with that creepy clown head. Oso is missing, and this dude, the red-haired one, is straight up refusing to take her to the toy box to look for him. She soaks and falls onto the sand, but he won't even let her search there, saying Oso wouldn't go up there. She insists she saw Oso up there, but he claims it was probably just another toy that looked like him. Suspicious. He's worried Oso wouldn't go up there, thinking it's a bad idea. But honestly, this dude is acting weird. She tries to reach for Oso, but he yanks her back, and oh no, she faceplants into a pile of goo. It looks messy, but he's like, never mind, he's fine. Which is a total lie, because that's not fine. She's covered in the stuff, and it's clear something is really wrong with Oso, but he's trying to play it off. But it's obvious this whole situation is messed up, and our girl is not buying it for a second. She's absolutely livid and calls him out, demanding to know if he's afraid of a little mess. He tries to brush it off, but she presses him, pointing out he just had a bloody mess land on him. Our girl is seriously upset, and she turns away, refusing to look at him, major side eye. He tries to apologize, but she's still fuming, and straight up refuses to accept it. He finally breaks down and hugs the patched-up Oso doll, looking genuinely distraught. She spots a box of sewing supplies and realizes he's been fixing up all the broken toys. It's kinda sweet, honestly. But then she remembers the goo, and her suspicions return, thinking he's hiding something major. She asks what he's been cleaning up, and he avoids eye contact. Red flag, people, red flag! She demands answers, and he finally admits he's been fixing toys that were shredded, and no way is that normal. She's completely done, arms crossed and looking down at him, and honestly, he deserves all the heat. He confesses the shredded toys are from children who saw something they shouldn't have. It's messed up, bro. But it gets worse, because he admits those kids disappeared, and he's been desperately trying to fix everything. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable little monster versions of the circus crew. It's seriously cute. This whole scene is set up like a creepy carnival, but it's definitely giving off some unsettling vibes, you know. She's leaning against a pillar, looking a little freaked out, but honestly, she's barely fazed by anything. Suddenly, this dude the ringmaster, straight up bites her, like a full-on nibble on her shoulder. But it's not what it looks like, apparently. She's shifting, changing somehow, and it's making everyone react. She jumps back, and the ringmaster is right there, getting way too close for comfort, bro. Our girl is totally stunned, eyes wide and sparkling. It's like she can't process what's happening. We get a close-up of the ringmaster, and he looks intense, like he's about to reveal something huge. And honestly, this dude is giving off major I have a secret energy. She's still reeling, totally confused, while this dude is just staring. No way this is going to end well. He tells her the only way to get summoned to this nightmare is to be on death's door. Talk about intense. He presses her for details, wanting to know how she ended up so close to the edge, bro. She's clearly disturbed by the question, her eyes darting around like she's remembering something awful. He looks away, seeming troubled, and admits he saw himself in her. Wait, what? She tells him not to say it, and insists there's nothing wrong, but her face says otherwise. A hand, covered in those creepy black lines, reaches up. It looks like she's injured, but it's so unsettling. He suddenly pulls her into a hug, a surprisingly tender moment, and says it'll be nice to have a little sister. She's totally caught off guard by that, and honestly, it's a total mood swing. He's hugging her tight, and she looks vulnerable, like she's finally letting her guard down. But the whole scene feels off, especially with that dark background. Something is definitely brewing. He's hugging her super tight and she's visibly breaking down. It's a lot, honestly. She's trying to pull away, but he won't let go, whispering about finally having a sister, bro. She straight up snaps, demanding he let her go and accusing him of being exactly like them. He flinches, clearly hurt, and admits he knows what it's like to be afraid of questions. This is getting deep. Okay, so everyone's gathered and our girl is surrounded by all these creepy circus peeps. It's a whole vibe. This dude, the ringmaster, is straight up announcing they're making a new plan, and the atmosphere is so tense. He stomps his foot for emphasis, which is a little extra, but we're here for it. It's a power move. The ringmaster reveals he learned our girl's name when the carnival took her, which is unsettling, to say the least. He's trying to scare her by saying her name, but honestly, it's kind of pathetic because she isn't fazed at all. He admits saying her name is hard, but he'll scare her with it anyway. What a mood, honestly. This dude starts wiggling and getting all flustered while trying to say her name. It's actually kind of funny. We get a glimpse of 3 little clown heads all squished together. They're definitely plotting something. The ringmaster continues to struggle with her name, but seems determined to get it right, which is weird. He's fully embracing the chaotic energy and wiggling now, and it's hilariously creepy. What a scene. The ringmaster's 2 assistants try to get close to our girl, but she's totally blocking them off. Suddenly, one of the clowns launches himself at her, straight up jumps into her arms. She's caught off guard for a sec, but then snuggles right back. This is unexpected. Another clown is visibly nervous, face all messed up because of the snuggle situation. The clown tries to pull his buddy away, but it's no use. They're stuck in a hug. He attempts another jump, hoping to break them up, but fails spectacularly. The assistants try to grab her, but she's completely surrounded by clown energy right now. One of the clowns insists it's his job to scare her, saying they aren't allowed to be close. But our girl isn't having it. She declares there's no way that's true. She's holding on to that clown so tight, and he looks completely smitten. Honestly, it's kinda cute. The ringmaster asks if what she heard is true, and the clowns immediately snicker. They're totally plotting something. She's holding onto one clown, but the other pulls her in for a hug too, and honestly, it's a full-on clown pile-on. The clowns insist they're supposed to scare her, but she's calling their bluff, saying no rule says they can't get close. Okay, so everyone's gathered around Princess, and it's a total chaotic vibe with all these monster friends. This dude Chip is holding up this ancient-looking book, and he's declaring it's the Book of Phobia, super ominous. He boasts he'll scare everyone with its power, but he's especially targeting Rayleigh, which is bold, to say the least. Chip starts showing off the book, and our girl and another monster start clapping. It's seriously unsettling. Rayleigh asks what the book says, but Chip immediately tells her to shush, trying to play up the mystery. He's all smug, saying it's scarier if she doesn't know what's inside, and the other monster totally agrees. Chip's face transforms into this creepy grin, eyes completely black. It's a full-on horror movie moment, honestly. Everyone's looking at him, wondering if he'll actually read the title aloud, but they're all secretly hoping he doesn't. Chip is asked to share more about the book, and he's totally leaning into the villain role. And now everyone's just staring, anticipating what kind of terror this book holds. The suspense is killing me. Chip reluctantly agrees to share his book, but admits no one's ever shown interest before. Aw, poor guy. He flips to his favorite chapter, which is all about cranberries, and starts explaining how they scare lost spirits. Chip proposes filling a bathtub with cranberries to trap these spirits, but then thud. Someone clearly isn't impressed. We get a close-up of the book's spine. It's titled Fun Phobias, which is a choice, honestly. Everyone looks up at Chip with confused expressions, like, wait, what is happening right now? One of the monsters demands Chip continue, saying they've never paid closer attention. Talk about pressure? Another monster blames Chip for this whole bizarre situation, which, fair enough, he kinda started it. Rayleigh's totally flustered, and Chip's looking at her with a questioning gaze. What's going on with that? Rayleigh starts to say something, but then immediately clams up, claiming no one would ever believe her. She's blushing like crazy, and it's clear Chip's got her all flustered. No way is this just about cranberries. Chip straight up asks Rayleigh what's wrong, and she's stammering about a past experience. It's awkward. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable, but kinda creepy, circus buddies. It's a whole vibe. This dude, the ringleader, is straight up plotting something, and he's been thinking about it for 10 minutes. Intense. He decides to scare Rayleigh with the phobia of surprises, which honestly sounds kinda mean, but okay. He's imagining himself as this super dramatic, scary clown, and he's feeling himself too much if you ask me. The plan? Throw Rayleigh a surprise party. Simple enough, right? But something tells me it won't be. We get a peek at the setup crew. 2 people in bucket hats and someone else. And it's already looking chaotic. The clown is giving instructions, but he's mumbling, which is a bad sign. What is he really up to? Someone gives a thumbs up, but honestly, they look super unenthusiastic, like they know this is going to be a disaster. He's so hyped about scaring Rayleigh with this party. He's practically vibrating with excitement. However, the setup crew looks terrified, and honestly, they have a right to be. This is gonna blow up. Meanwhile, the mice are busy ripping up Jasper's suits to make fabric for Oso, squeaking with purpose. One mouse tells Oso he looks handsome, and explains they're patching him up with stolen fabric. Rayleigh is totally smitten, cradling Oso's head and blushing. She's head over heels for this patchwork bear. She coos that Oso is standing tall again, and he lets out a little happy squeak. It's so cute. We get a close-up of Oso, and you can see just how much work went into fixing him up. It's a whole operation. Rayleigh peeks around a corner, looking all secretive, and is clearly up to something. What's the plan? She grabs the ringleader, pulling him into a tight hug, and he looks totally flustered. Ah, sweet moment. But she drops a bomb. The king wants to meet Oso, and they need to seize this opportunity before they're stopped. She insists they don't have time to rest, not even for a few hours, and this dude looks like he's about to pass out. Rayleigh is practically pinning him, and he's falling asleep right in her arms. She's relentless, I tell ya. Rayleigh asks the ringleader if he understands, and bro looks completely lost, like seriously. However, he straight up agrees to whatever she says, even though he's half asleep, and has no clue what's going on. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these little monster versions of the circus performers, and it's kinda adorable, honestly. The circus is officially open for business, and the theme is, well, it's a bit creepy, with a skull and everything. This dude, a performer named Valerius, is straight up losing it because of the circus, like full on panic attack. He's clutching this creepy doll, trying to calm down, but it's not working. The circus is messing with his head. Valerius and another performer are walking toward the big top, but something feels off. The atmosphere is super tense. We get a peek at the circus from the outside, and it looks seriously unsettling, like something's about to go down. Our girl is reading, looking totally unbothered, but she's clearly aware something is brewing. Valerius is losing it completely, babbling and freaking out, while the doll stares blankly. No way this is good. But just when you think things can't get worse, she realizes the circus is actively feeding off everyone's fears. And honestly, this whole situation is spiraling, and our girl is the only one who seems to have any control. Okay, so it turns out the circus only exists because of the king's favorite performer, and a powerful woman. This woman, Liana, is known as the King's Spider, and she's seriously feared by everyone. Apparently, she's the scariest of the king's 6 servants, and no one has ever frightened more lost souls. Valerius is begging for her help, and our girl is listening intently, but honestly, she looks a little too pleased. Liana taps Valerius on the arm, and she seems to have a feeling this might be the one. Whatever's that means. She's giving this intense look, and it's kinda creepy, but also she's got a whole vibe going on. But she's not just standing there. Liana is clearly powerful, and she's sizing up the situation. She's got this regal, intimidating aura, and she's totally owning the room. Our girl is a force of nature. And honestly, this is where things get wild. Liana is straight up a spider queen, complete with web details. She's radiating confidence and power, and you just know she's about to turn the tables on this whole circus. Okay, so Liana reveals she has theatrophobia, a fear of theaters, which is a total twist. But wait, she explains the circus is built on exploiting those fears, and she wants to destroy it, which is amazing. Okay, so everyone's throwing a surprise party for our girl, and it's a whole monster crew helping out. This dude, who's kinda creepy with the whole clown thing, announces the party is almost set up. Seriously, the vibes are off. He's got a ton of party hats and stuff, but someone points out she absolutely cannot wear them ALL, which is true. So this clown asks someone to pick out the cutest hat for her, and honestly, it's a little sus, bro. He's rummaging through the hats and getting all thoughtful like he's planning something major. We don't trust it. He's staring intensely at his shadowy buddy, but then he gets a little flustered, and it's kinda cute actually. He's thinking hard, and the shadowy buddy is just looming like a big, scary, but helpful friend. He finally decides on a hat, and it's a little chaotic, but it's perfect for our girl. She can pull anything off. But wait, the shadowy buddy's got a creepy grin and a toothy maw. Something's definitely up with this dude. He's all intense and flustered, and we're left wondering what this clown is really planning. It's gonna be good. He's rushing toward the hat, yelling for her, and seriously, the speed is impressive. He wonders why the hat is hanging by a string, and someone points out the twins are probably up to something. He calls out to the twins, tricks, but things get weird, fast. Suddenly everything goes black, and a loud ba-dum-p echoes. No way, that's a heartbeat! She's falling, and the sound keeps repeating, ba-dum-p, and it's straight up terrifying. We get a close-up of her face, and she looks totally freaked out. She's rarely scared, so this is BAD. A shadowy figure looms over her, and honestly, it's a lot. The twins are definitely messing with her. He's calling out their names, but it's too late. She's completely surrounded by darkness. The ba-dum-p sound is getting louder, and a creepy, shadowy claw reaches for her. She's wide awake now, eyes open, and staring right into the abyss. This is about to get intense. She's totally lost in the darkness, but then a tiny voice calls out Mama. No way, what is happening? A monstrous hand reaches for her, and honestly, it's terrifying. This dude is about to get a serious scare. Okay, so everyone's gathered around Princess. Our girl is totally unfazed, surrounded by all these monster friends. This creepy circus is the backdrop, and it's called Funtime Phobia, which honestly is a little on the nose. But things get wieldy when this dude, a clown named Shiver, just appears out of nowhere. No one knows how. Shiver is straight up asking how he even got there, looking totally freaked out, and his eye is messed up. He's glaring at someone off panel, and we see a flash of red, like he's spotting a threat. Tension is building. Then we get a close-up of his messed up eye. It's spinning, and it's super unsettling, I'm not gonna lie. He's pleading with Husk to hide him, and you can tell he's genuinely terrified of whatever's coming. But it's too late. Something massive looms over him, casting a huge shadow, and it's all ominous and dark. The shadow has an X above it, and it's like a warning sign, hinting at something terrible about to happen. And then, something bites down, and it's instant chaos. But who's doing the biting? No way. Shiver's screaming as something massive descends, and honestly, it's terrifying. This thing has rows and rows of teeth, bro, and a creepy X marking its head. It's a bad sign. Everything goes wosich as this monster lunges, and it's happening so fast. Someone's declaring, "You can't hide forever." But we don't know who yet, and it's super dramatic. A hand is slicing something with a blade, for gouache, and it looks like a portrait. No way. Someone's saying, "Dear Mommy did a great job," which is seriously unsettling considering the circumstances. And now you're here, Husk, they shout, and then, Faguesch, another portrait gets sliced up. We finally see who's talking, and it's a little girl with red hair, looking totally unbothered. She's tapping on a weird, boxy device, tape tappy, and it's giving off major creepy vibes. She says this is the beginning of the story, and she's here to carry it on, which is straight up chilling. The little girl casually declares everyone is alone now, and honestly, it's terrifying. She's messing with some kind of device, and it's broadcasting a flash of light, straight up evil. Turns out that flash triggers a phobia, celophobia, fear of flashing lights, and someone's reacting badly. The girl is just watching as this dude spirals, saying nobody can stop her play from starting. Suddenly, a shadowy hand grabs the terrified guy, and it's happening so fast. She's hauling him away, and it's like a creepy puppet show, with the shadow looming large behind them. He screams duo ost as she carries him off, and the light beams down on them, super dramatic. Our girl is completely unfazed, and it's messed up because she's clearly the one in control here. Someone's feet are shaking, and a voice shouts "Retu," but react to what? This is intense. Okay, so everyone's gathered around celebrating, and our girl is totally the star of the show, surrounded by all these cute monster pals. It's a circus, but like a spooky one, and the title card is giving major creepy vibes. Funtime Phobia likes. Chip's been gone for over an hour, and this dude, whose name is Hachi, is getting seriously worried, straight up panicking. Everyone suggests they go look for Chip, thinking he just wandered off, but Hachi's convinced something's wrong. Hachi and another monster start playing cards, trying to distract themselves. But it's not working. They're both still stressed about Chip. They toss the cards around, trying to lighten the mood, but Hachi is clearly on edge, pacing back and forth. They're calling out for Chip, desperately searching, and Hachi is starting to feel like something bad happened. Hachi thinks Chip is hiding, and honestly, he doesn't like it one bit. It's super suspicious. Close up on another monster, looking worried and concerned, and you can tell everyone is feeling the tension. She's really starting to worry now, and we can see it on her face. She knows something isn't right with Chip. Hachi spots something huge and gray, and it's wiggling. Our girl's face drops. She's instantly worried. The thing wiggles even more, and Hachi realizes it's connected to Rayleigh Chip's skin suit. No way! Hachi shouts for Rayleigh, but she's totally unresponsive, just standing there blankly. She finally looks down at Hachi, and her eyes are completely black, straight up terrifying. Rayleigh's body is enveloped in this dark, shadowy stuff, and it's spreading fast, honestly kinda creepy. Everything goes dark for a split second, then bam, she blinks, and it's even more unsettling. Hachi demands to know why Rayleigh isn't with Chip, reminding her she's supposed to be his skin. She's just standing there, silent, while the darkness swirls around her, and it's giving major bad vibes. Hachi is completely frozen, staring at her, and you can feel the tension building. But then, the panel goes solid red, and we're left hanging with a cliffhanger. What is going on? Rayleigh starts rambling, saying they took Chip away and invited everyone to the show. What is happening? Someone asks if something happened to Chip, and Rayleigh just stares, then straight up says she needs his skin. She's completely lost in her own world, fixated on Chip, and honestly, it's terrifying. Rayleigh's eyes swirl, and she delivers a chilling message. She needs Chip's skin, no doubt about it. She flashes a massive, toothy grin, and Hachi is totally freaked out, which fair enough. Rayleigh continues, explaining they took Chip, and everyone is invited to watch the show. This is getting wild. A weird skeletal hand appears holding a card that reads arithmophobia. The fear of numbers, seriously? But just when you think it can't get stranger, a tiny, ominous eye peeks out from the corner of the panel. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable, yet creepy, little monster versions of the circus crew. She wakes up and immediately feels something brushing against her. It's kinda unsettling, TB. Turns out she's being watched by a creepy, antique camera-headed dude named Funtime, who's straight up obsessed with her. Funtime rattles a snake right in her face, trying to scare her, but our girl isn't even faced. She's a legend. He's shocked she's awake, and then starts listing off all her past escapes, even calling her slippery. Funtime casually points out her scar, then says he'll cover it up because it's unsightly. Rude. He brings up her companion Husk, and how he helped her escape 17 times. But then drops a bomb. Without Husk, she's just a mostly blind young man, and he can't even see well with his mangled eye. Ouch! Funtime is really laying it on thick, and honestly, it's a little disturbing, but our girl doesn't flinch. He continues to talk down to her, but she's completely unfazed, which is amazing because this dude is intense. Funtime explains that if she can barely see, it'll ruin the show for Leanna, and she admits she can see sort of. She asks who he is and where she is, but she's clearly disoriented and wants to go home. However, Funtime denies her request. This dude is shivering, straight up freezing, and he's rocking back and forth in a chair, looking completely unhinged. Funtime says he's been waiting for the twins to find the invitation he left, and their arrival will finally scare her. He's all, this will be over once the twins show up, but honestly, it's giving major villain monologue vibes. We get a close-up of Funtime patting her head, and he's like, "You want that, don't you?" before telling her to behave. He calls her a little blind clown, and it's just so condescending. Like, chill out, bro. Funtime is being a total creep, and it's clear he's enjoying her confusion and vulnerability. He's got her cornered, and our girl is starting to unravel, begging to go home, but Funtime won't let her. Funtime claims she's not going anywhere, and the whole situation is just escalating. This is getting intense. Funtime introduces the clown as his best friend, and honestly, it's a little unsettling. Someone asks about this creepy clown, and Funtime drops a bomb. This dude tore apart his own skin. The stage lights flash, and we see a shadowy figure, but it's a total misdirect, a classic Funtime move. We get a super close-up of the audience seats, and it's empty. What is going on here? Funtime is doubling down on the creepy, saying the clown is the reason she's here, and it's straight up terrifying. He claims this clown is her fear, and she's starting to freak out. Finally, a reaction, but Funtime is loving it. Funtime says he's been waiting for the twins to arrive, and honestly, it feels like a trap is closing in. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all these adorable monster kids. They're seriously the cutest, and she's just vibing with them. We get a flash of the circus tent and the title Funtime Phobia, back at the circus, which honestly sets the vibe perfectly. She's talking about how a camera woman removed shadows from someone's skin, which is already a little creepy, but she brushes it off. Then she wakes up and realizes she's lost her shadows, like completely gone, and is understandably confused. Suddenly, this weird, grinning clown shows up with an invitation, and her face is just unreadable, which is unsettling. But then black goo starts spreading over everything, and she's clearly freaking out about what's happening to her. She's covered in darkness and wonders what's going on, but it's quickly revealed that it's the dark place again. She looks super distressed, with flowers falling around her, and it's clear this shadow loss is a big deal. Our girl is totally overwhelmed by the darkness, and it's honestly a little terrifying to see her so vulnerable. She's clearly struggling with this whole shadow situation, and we're left wondering what this dark place even is. She calls out, asking if anyone's there, but this dude, a creepy clown, just drops down from nowhere. He recognizes her as Rayleigh and straight up welcomes her back to the darkness, which is not good. He floats closer to our girl, and she's looking seriously spooked, like she's seen a ghost. Oh wait, she kinda has. He hugs her tight and says he missed her so much, but it's a super unsettling hug, honestly. We get a close-up of the clown's face, and his eyes are wild. They're glowing and have star shapes in them. Then, we see our girl's face, and she's smiling, but it's a creepy vacant smile with tears streaming down. She says she'll see this through and help him, but something is definitely off with her expression. But wait, a fork suddenly appears on her head, a 4K, and it's just a lot. The clown asks how she's doing, but honestly, she doesn't look okay at all. She's smiling, but her eyes are totally black, and bro, that's a major red flag. Our girl is getting slammed around, and it's brutal. She's totally losing it. She's babbling about the theater and how her dad will get in trouble if something happens. She's freaking out about what they will do to Chip, and honestly, it's terrifying to hear. The sound of dump echoes, and the screen fills with the noise. It's super disorienting. We get another look at the clown, and his face is completely obscured by darkness, which is creepy AF. A title card reveals this is about Phobia, the fear of being eaten. No way! Our girl is clearly spiraling, and this whole situation is escalating quickly. Okay, so our girl is surrounded by all her little monster buddies. It's honestly adorable and chaotic. The episode title flashes, and it's clear she's seriously freaked out about Chip getting hurt, like, majorly. She's spiraling, and her eye starts glitching. It's a full-on descent into madness, bro. Things get really intense as black, stringy tentacles erupt from her face, and it's straight up terrifying. She's completely consumed by these shadowy hands, desperately trying to hold herself together. But it's not working. She screams she doesn't want to break, and then bam, someone slaps her, which is a choice. Our girl is a mess, tears streaming, begging them not to make that face. It's heartbreaking, honestly. But then, this other dude shows up, promising everything will be okay and he'll fix things. He assures her Chip will be fine, everyone will be fine, and it's a hopeful moment. which is nice. He says he sees everything from her perspective, and honestly, it feels like a Huji reveal. What is going on? She's waking up, and Husk is straight up possessing her. It's a total mind takeover situation. Someone explains she fainted after Husk possessed her, and that he's really sorry for hiding in Oso's shadow instead. Another voice chimes in, saying they're lucky she didn't freak out because her fear vanishing would be bad. They ask about Chip, but our girl is clearly still processing everything. She's super teary. She finally opens her eyes, and they're Geobonji with that star symbol. It's kinda unsettling, honestly. She's hugging someone tightly, and it looks like they're comforting her. But there's a weird vibe. She's so relieved Chip is okay, but the hugger is acting a little too pleased with himself, if you ask me. She's still shaken, but determined, and it's clear she's ready to find Chip and save the day. But wait, the hugger is still holding her, and he's whispering something in her ear, which is sus. Her eyes widen again, and she looks completely shocked. No way, what is he telling her? This dude tries to distract her with a question about how to get into this place, hoping to change the subject. She reveals she was a lost kid here too, and the monsters couldn't scare her. Talk about a backstory! But she drops a bombshell. She had a little sister back then, a secret she's kept from Trix. She's keeping this info from Trix because he doesn't know about her sister. Drama is brewing, I can feel it. She's getting super emotional, and Trix is clearly worried, but she's not stressing as much as he is. But wait, she asks why he looks like a fish. Out of nowhere? It's a weird question, honestly. And then a definition pops up: Phobia. The fear of family? No way, this is getting intense. Okay, so everyone's gathered around Princess, and it's giving major chaotic family portrait vibes. Hold up. We get a warning that this episode is going to be intense, like seriously upsetting stuff is coming. The circus is called Funtime Phobia, which is on the nose, honestly, but sets the creepy tone. Trix starts explaining there are 3 ways people end up in this world, called Death's Door, and it's already getting dark. We see a sad little lost one with swirling fears around her head, and it's clear something's wrong. Then there are those brought from the other world, invited by the king and turned into phobias, like Jasper, apparently. But get this, beings are born here created from pure fear and given hearts and souls. Wild. Trix reveals his brother is one of these beings, and he never told him that he's a lost one himself. This dude is seriously questioning how you can tell your twin apart if one isn't even real. Talk about an existential crisis. And the final image, just a shadowy figure beside Trix, leaving us hanging and totally freaked out. No way. Trix reveals he had a little sister, and straight up, it's heartbreaking. He's squeezing a doll like it's her. But it gets worse, bro. She was super sick, and Trix is remembering how awful it was. She dies on her 11th birthday, and honestly, this is hitting hard. Our girl is devastated. We cut to a rainy scene, and someone's whispering about Trix's sister, which is super creepy. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appears, and they can see the whispers. It's a total mind trip. The figure claims seeing them means you can see Death's Door, and things are getting seriously ominous. They tell Trix to find them at the castle when the door opens. What is happening? The figure drops a bombshell. That's how they got scammed here, and it's a total plot twist. Back to Trix and the doll, and he's declaring he walked up to the castle to ruin their perfect ending. So, he's clearly messed up and maybe not the most reliable narrator, but what a cliffhanger! Trix is totally losing it, burying his face in his hands and just falling apart. It's rough. This dude's freaking out over cemeteries and funerals, and our girl's there trying to comfort him, but it's clearly too much. Turns out Trix has Phobia, the fear of graveyards, and honestly, it explains a lot about why he's so messed up.